What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Monday, May 19th, 2025. Happy Malcolm X Day. We are back with another live here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. And yes, that it was the debut of the new official bed bucking / Blacaren examination Hall of Shame theme song. That actually came as a request from one of my subscribers. They said, since you got a Triple P theme song, why don't you have a bed bucking one? And I said, you know what? Let me go and hook that up. And I just went on to Epidemic Sound and just typed in some banjo music. And this is the one that stuck out to me the most. And trust me, there were plenty to choose from. But shout out to each and every person that is here so far in the chat. Shout out to all the mods, all the members, everybody over there on Patreon. If for any reason you can't catch this live, but you can catch the replay, shout out to the replay gang as well. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the like button if you are new. And if you are new to the channel, I'm glad that you are here. And if for any reason you don't get any notifications, make sure to join the Discord, which is pinned at the top of the chat. So before we get into everything, let me go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far in the chat. We got Wallow J, Dimpleface, The Informant Media, Reparations Nation, SD Johnson, Dark Titan, Kazuma Fury, D Money 2002, J Cage, Firebat, D Money 2002, Wilson's 4, Catsy, Andrew Campbell, Dre, Brother Man to You, Stolen Ancestors, Kenny Calhoun, Miss Nisi, Don P, and that is it so far in the chat. Yes, that is the official new music for the Bed Bucking Blacaren series entries, whether it's a live or in a pre-record. Now, I think I just started adding them in, like made it maybe later on, so you might get one other video that doesn't have that particular music attached to it. But going forward, this will be the music that will be being used. So before I get into all of this, I have to give a shout out to two YouTubers in particular. First, I have to give a shout out to Machiavelli Mills. Some of y'all may or may not heard of him. He is a YouTuber out of Chicago, and he does a lot of different content. He talks about various different things, and he's very on code with the content that he talks about. He actually did a video talking about this topic in which we're going to go over this evening. So if you're not subscribed to his channel, make sure you go subscribe to him. And I also have to give a shout out to the Dre Max Show. He's been someone who's been on my channel before. I'm always over on his channel as well. He actually did a reaction to the video in which we're going to react to today. So I actually saw this video via his channel. And man, when I tell you, it took Dre about 2 hours to get through a 22-minute video. And I don't even think he made it all the way to the end, because it was that bad. So if y'all not sure who Stevie Knight is another one of those conservative type of YouTubers. And he talks about very like different things. He mainly I first got exposed to him because he did like music reactions and stuff like that. But he's definitely on that conservative side. I'm sure some people in the chat are calling him Fake'em Light or Fake'em 2.0, because that's basically the vibe that you kind of get from him. And I steer clear pretty much of his content, but I had heard of him before we talk about what we're going to talk about today. But he went and he saw the movie Sinners, and I questioned if he actually was paying attention, because he actually did a so-called review on it, and he basically said in the title of his video that Sinners was trash. And it was like, okay, if you have your opinion, I need to understand why you thought the movie was trash. Just like a lot of people who thought the movie was good, they were able to give their reasons as to why it was good. But in this video, it looks and sounds like he was not paying attention at all to anything that was going on in that movie. So we're going to go over the so-called review of this video of the movie, but we're also going to go over the response video that he made after this video about how people were coming at him in the comment section, because they was cooking him in his chat, in his comment section. And then when he made the response video, they was cooking him in there too. Now that one I did not see. So we're going to go over that one after we go through this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go over this. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. That should be one of the first things you do when you come into the chat, is to hit the like button. So I sped it up a little bit because, again, the video was 22 minutes long, and the response video that he made to this video is also about the same length. So we're going to be here for probably over 2 hours. I'm just giving y'all a heads up right now. Oh, Intelligent Cycle, you about to hear it. He says it in this video because, like I said, I already seen it because someone else did a reaction video to it, and that's how I was able to see at least half of this video, if not the whole thing. So let's go ahead and get started.
Well, I went to go see The Sinners last night.
And why did you call it The Sinners? The movie's not called The Sinners. It's just called Sinners. It's just one word, not The Sinners, just Sinners.
Trash.
Go ahead.
Hey.
Okay, I want y'all to pay attention to this part right here. This is him in the car with his, I don't know if this is his girlfriend or fiance or whoever she is to him, but I would say his partner. Let's just put it like that.
So disappointed. Sinners was
Ass.
ass. I don't get it, bro. I mean, we get it. We get it. But
It was made for
a reason.
It was made for who? Let me rewind it now. Of course, you see his wife. Wallow said this is his wife. Of course, she's a PC woman. But I'm trying to catch what she said because he kind of says something over her. It was made for who?
But,
it was made for
a reason.
It was made for certain people. Care to elaborate on the certain people that you're talking about? Because if you're talking about the certain people, one of them people that could be certain would be the one that's sitting next to you. But I guess it wasn't made for him either, because you're about to hear a bunch of filth just fly out of this for the next 20 plus odd minutes.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it, though. But that movie was fucking trash. I'm so disappointed. That movie was butchered.
Yeah, and then why y'all gassed it?
Gas. That movie
for
was,
what? It was not
and
good.
And we thought it was.
And why is she speaking with a black accent? That was one of the first things I noticed when Dre Mack talked about this. I said, is that a black accent she's speaking with? Why y'all gas it?
The only ones, but then I went to the bathroom and I was talking to bros that just watched it, and they was confused as shit. Like, bro, what the fuck did I just watch? What up, Night Nation? It's your boy Stevie Knight. About to get on one of these things. You feel me? What's good to watch? Night watch, man. Yeah, nice little change of pace, bro, because we doing a movie review. Before we do it, like always, man, Peter Drill. Shop StevieKnight.com for that. Of course, your boy's book still available for purchase. My book is better than The Sinners, bro. I ain't even capped out. Ain't even close, bro.
Somehow I doubt it, but let's continue.
Boy, I don't want to come across as I'm hating, bro. I don't, dog. But it's just because of the.
He said he doesn't want to come across as he's hating, but already within the first minute and 39 seconds, that's exactly what it sounds like. Y'all are getting. This is just a. Y'all better put the coffee on. That's all I'm gonna say. Put the coffee pot on now. It's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night.
Fucking hype, bro. You know what I'm talking about? I was hype, bro. You feel me? Like, it always happens to me, though, bro. It always happens to me when things are hyped. They never live up to the expectation. There's that, but then this just tanked as far as I'm concerned, bro. Warning, if you hadn't seen it and you plan on seeing it, don't even watch this because I'm about to give you all the spoilers, bro. But yeah, me and my girl decided to go pull up and watch it finally because of just the promotion, but then like all the positive responses from the movie, bro. Like the reaction, the reviews from the movie have been crazy, bro. I'm about 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.3 on IMDb. Like, I don't even really rock with Rotten Tomatoes, bro, because they be on that different type of time. IMDb, I refer to them as pretty accurate as far as reviews are concerned, bro. So when I seen that, and then on top of it, bro, like I am a horror movie lover, dog. It's my favorite genre of movies, bro. And it's vampires on top of it.
We're gonna get to that, Jonathan.
I'm a vampire enthusiast, bro. Like, I'm a vampire buff. You feel me? I like everything vampires, bro, from the 30 Days and Nights to hell, the Blaze, bro. Right? Underworlds. You know what I'm talking about?
Now, I want y'all to understand what he's saying and the type of movies that he's talking about right now as far as vampire movies. he's basically telling you what type of movie he thought he was going to see. Understand, some people, I don't know, for whatever reason, they saw that promotion for this movie, the teaser and the main trailer, and thought they was about to go watch Blade or Underworld. And I'm tired of the From Dusk Till Dawn comparisons. My God, like they keep running that one into the ground, and it never lands anytime they say, no matter how they try to spin it or say it. But if you thought you was going to go watch Blade, which Marvel should have been working on, but they've been hanging Mahershala Ali on by a thread since 2019, that's not what this movie is. It's far from it.
Me in. Oh, the Draculas, bro. Hell, I quit Vampire in Brooklyn. Goddamn. Hey, I ain't fuck with Twilight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God. Oh, shout out to DSB for the 20. He said that movie had a lot of biblical history in it, and they missed the actual message of the movie. Exactly. I appreciate it. Look what he just said. He said Twilight. Twilight. No, you didn't bring up Twilight as far as a vampire movie to compare or contrast to this one. Twilight.
Yeah, like real talk. The first time I seen Twilight, dog, I was like, man, what the fuck is this gay? I remember like yesterday, dog. I went and peeped in a red box because everybody was gassing it. Kind of the same situation here, right? And I'm watching it, thinking I'm about to see some vampire shit. And I see these vampires' skin all twinkling in the sun. Like, what type of gay shit is this, bro? But then when I understood what it was about, you know what I'm talking about? It's vampires. It was pretty much a whole Romeo and Juliet type of situation, like, werewolves.
So you was able to understand that Twilight was really a teenage love story that basically became a love triangle that turned into a war between the wolves and not the wolves, but the vampires, the current ones, plus the ones that were seen as the elite. You were able to understand all of that, but you couldn't understand this? Okay.
Vampires, same thing with Underworld. You know what I'm saying? Those storylines though, right? So once I understood that, I rock with Twilight. I understood the concept, but
he understood that concept, but he couldn't understand this. That's because he didn't want to understand it. That's really all it boils down to. It's crazy because when he said about Twilight, he called it what it was, but then he took his time to understand it. But when he looks at Sinners, he just immediately called it trash. He's going to eventually call it woke because that's why I put it in the title. So that means you don't even want to find out what this movie is actually about. You basically turned your brain off. That's basically what I'm gathering. He turned his brain off.
This right here, especially when you classify it as horror. You know what I'm talking about? Especially when you classify it as horror. I mean, and I am as critical comes when it comes to movies, bro. That's why I don't even try to go watch new movies these days, bro, because can't nobody come up with no fresh ideas.
This was an original idea. This was an original IP. See, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. I'm about to be on my soapbox this evening, so y'all probably gonna be like, she's Torian, calm down. This is what I'm talking about. You have a lot of these conservatives who love to say, I'm tired of remakes, I'm tired of reboots, I'm tired of quote unquote woke Disney this and woke Disney that. And all these superhero movies and all these comic book movies and the gender swapping, the race swapping. Meanwhile, you have an original IP, an original idea that's not tied to an adaptation. It's not a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not a remake. And you say this is why the movie industry is what Sinners is a breath of fresh air for the movie industry right now. It is literally a breath of fresh air. They're like, whoa, I can't believe that this movie was like the little engine that could, and now it has taken off. I don't want to go into a whole thing about it because on Wednesday's live, I'm going to talk about the deal that Ryan Coogler got. I'm going to break that down and then also talk about the success that Sinners has had so far and what this could mean going forward. But for him to sit up there and say that, I'm like, this is why I can't take the people seriously when they say that they don't, that they want original movies when this is exactly what this is. This is an original film. If Ryan Coogler, by some miracle, gets nominated, or the people who wrote the script get nominated, it will be nominated for Best Original Screenplay, not Adapted Screenplay, which means it's an original piece of work.
and new scripts. I feel like they keep recycling the same type of plot over and over and over again, using different actors. You feel me? So I can't even tell you last time me and my girl went to an actual movie, bro, because nothing has been like alluring to us. But anyway, we pulled up to this, man, because just the response from it is viral. Like this is the one. You know what I'm talking about?
He wrote. Oh, you said he wrote it. Okay, well there you go. So he directed and he wrote it.
Heard people getting up and clapping after. I'm like, to a horror movie? Okay, say less. Let's ride. I was looking forward to it and shit. And I don't usually look forward to nothing, bro. But I was looking forward to going to the movie, watch it with my girl, bro. I'm telling you, 30 minutes in this motherfucker, me and my girl looking at each other like, you serious? Like maybe it's just us, because we often find ourselves in that type of element, bro. Like we are so critical on films that we often like looking at each other like, bro, this shit ass. Where everybody else thinks it's the world. We're like, man, maybe it's just us.
So you were sitting there for 30 minutes. Everybody is like engulfed into the movie, but y'all were the only two in there that was so lost on the plot. The thing is, were y'all even paying attention? I was locked in within the first 30 minutes to the point where I was like, they could have made this movie straight up like this without even having the vampire element.
But it's clearly not us, bro.
And see, that's the thing, Wally. Good point. So why didn't y'all leave during the movie? Here's the thing. Even if they left, they already got their money. They already paid for it. It's not like he stayed home and watched it in another way for free. You already paid for it. So whether you left or not, whether he and his girl left or not, that money was already paid. And 9 times out of 10, they most likely went at night. So the tickets were a little bit higher.
So after the movie, I'm talking to people in the films that share the same sentiments as I did. So I know I'm not crazy. Well, before I dive into my feelings about it, I need to lay out what happened. You know what I'm saying? The plot or whatnot. So we're on the same page. But in the plot ain't even nothing, bro. It ain't even nothing, dog. It's going on during Jim Crow. Right? I think it's either Mississippi or New Orleans. I don't forgot.
This is how you know he didn't pay attention. He said there was no plot. Are you kidding me? And you claim, and then you just sat there and didn't even know where the movie took place, when it clearly told you in the beginning of the movie where the movie took place. It sounds to me like you were not tapped out in 30 minutes. It sounds like to me like y'all was tapped out in the first 5 minutes. Shout out to We Next DSB for the 10. He said, I am sure he enjoyed the whole movie. He was too lost to catch the message of that movie. I appreciate it. Yeah, like, honestly, I think what Stevie Knight is doing right here, this is what you call rage bait. He's doing this because he needed views and clicks on this video. And honestly, this is one of his worst performing videos. I think the video itself only got like 1,000 likes, which is underperforming for him. And I can only imagine what those dislikes ended up being, but I can't see them because, you know, YouTube turned them off and it's like a certain thing you got to use in order to see them, but I don't really care to look at them. But I can just about bet that he got probably well over 2,000 dislikes.
Yeah, it don't even matter, bro. It's back in Jim Crow with the black folks. You feel me?
And also, I always tell people to pay attention to tone. Look at how dismissive he sounds when he's talking about Jim Crow. Well, it happened back in Mississippi, I think, or maybe it was New Orleans and it was Jim Crow. Yeah, I think it was in Jim Crow. Look at how dismissive he sounds when he's talking about that. As if he could care less.
And Michael B. Jordan's one of the main characters, but he plays himself twice because he plays a twin of himself, so it's two of him, and they like some prohibition gangsters back then, right, making money the illegal ways or whatnot, and they hit a lick in Chicago, come back to wherever it is. I can't remember where it was.
Still, all you can do is just laugh at this. It tells you in the movie where the movie takes place. It literally says Mississippi. And you don't even remember where it took place. Even if you didn't remember where it took place, what you could have did before you got on this camera to make this so-called review was ask Google, because Google is your friend, where did the movie centers take place? And it would have told you, in this town, comma, Mississippi. Simple.
But back to their hometown or whatnot, buy a barn from an alleged KKK member who claims he's not KKK no more, and they turn the barn into a juke joint. Well, that's the intention. And then like the first 30 minutes is just developing this plot where they going around recruiting who they need to run the juke joint for the grand opening that night, right? So they pick up a musician, they pick up a cook, they pick up a security guard.
Well, who's the musician? Like, look, like, I mean, my God, look at how he's just like kind of skipping over things. The musician was a huge part of the plot. One would argue the musician, who I'm guessing he's talking about Sammy, was probably the focal point of the film. Probably his character was probably more important than Smoke and Stack. I even said that in my review that I think he was probably the most important character in this movie. He was a central focal point of that movie.
You know what I'm saying? Highlight their little stories or whatnot. You see the main love interest, Josh Allen's girl, right? Pretty white girl. And
this is crazy. He said Josh Allen girls. He's talking about Haley Steinfeld. And notice what he referred to her as, pretty white girl. Now I want y'all to hold on to that, because wait till you see what he references the Annie character as, the one who played Smoke's wife.
And she's involved with one of the twins, you know what I'm saying? And then juke joints popping, right? And then vampires randomly pull up. They just randomly pull up.
Randomly pull up. Yeah, he did all this to rage bait. That's really all this is. I can't take this seriously, but here we are.
Like the initial introduction to the vampires, when it was initial, you see a man running through grass to a house, and that's how they introduced the vampires. I understand the connection of the vampires to the barn with the music or whatnot, which I'll get into later. But eventually the vampires pull up to the juke joint, want to get in, right?
And he skipped over so much stuff. Like a review. If you didn't want to do spoilers, I understand, but I mean, he skipped over so much stuff in the first 7 minutes and 40 seconds. I mean, a lot of stuff. Now, this would be what I call a horrible movie pitch. If you wanted to pitch a movie to a studio, they would trash this.
Eventually, the black folks and the vampires bump heads. Vampires end up fucking the majority of the black folks up. And really, that's pretty much it.
That's it. That's all you got from this. That's all he got from this. What he just said, that was it. That's all he got.
Like the story is, there's not much there, dog. And there's so many gaping holes throughout just the literal script. And it took entirely too long for the motherfucker to develop for a horror story. And you got to understand my perspective. I'm coming in this motherfucker looking for horror, looking for vampire, looking for dope shit, right? I will say the acting was phenomenal.
And that's the only good thing he said about this movie, was the acting was good. That's the only good thing he said in this whole. I can't even bring myself to call it a review. I don't know what this is, but that's the only good thing he said, was the acting was good.
Acting was superb. I mean, cinematography was cool. Like the production of it was cool. But as far as just the script and what they were doing with it, bro, it's like,
and it looks like he's trying to think of something negative to say. Notice how quick he was able to say the acting was good. He said the cinematography was good, the production was good, but he says the writing was this. And now it's like he's stumbling to try to find something negative to say about it.
I don't even know where to start, bro. With so many gaping holes, like at the beginning.
So let's see what he got on here. He says, so after recording the video, I was on the phone with my boy talking about the movie, and my PC was still recording. The convo was better than my review. Okay, now watch this part right here. This is the conversation he's going to have on the phone with his friend, and I think it's a PC guy. I swear Stevie's like the black friend. I swear he probably is.
What made you guys think that the movie was trash?
Man, that's just ass, bro.
How? In what regards? Please elaborate.
There's so many holes in it as far as the movie, because I'm a horror buff. And
no, I think there's some holes in your brain. I think that's where the holes are at.
I'm a vampire dude, bro. So as far as executing a horror film, including vampires, they dropped the entire ball.
Hey, Dre Mac, what's going on? Hey, I gave you a shout out. I don't know if you caught it now, but I did give you a shout out earlier in the live. If y'all haven't done so already, make sure y'all follow or subscribe to the Dre Mac channel. I will greatly appreciate it. He's one of the reasons why we're doing this live tonight.
All on that, bro.
Yeah, I told you that. Remember, I said it's not about the vampires.
I know it's not about the vampires, but we're gonna use vampires. You gotta do it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be half-assed and shit.
There's an origin or something, a little bit of background.
For example, bro, like when Michael B. Jordan and his vampire brother twins are fighting, that don't happen in the vampire world, bro. You can't have hand-to-hand combat with no vampire, bro. They'll rip your fucking arms off and shove them up your ass. That shit wasn't believable. Like, bro, pinning a fucking vampire, you're fucking right. And then the girl crying because her husband out there, knowing there's a bunch of vampires out there, and she invites all the vampires in. Like, that shit was fucking goof troop.
It was the part that I thought that was very, very bad on that part.
And then they actually fighting the vampires too. It's like 5 or 6 of them that don't have no combat experience.
And I don't believe him when he said in his little PSA when the screen went black that he forgot his PC was still recording. Come on now. You mean to tell me you didn't know your PC was still recording this? Does he really expect us to believe that? So for dramatic effect, your PC just stopped recording. You thought your PC stopped recording and you didn't know it still was, but you happened to get on the phone with your friend to talk about this movie. And you ironically left the conversation in. Mind you, his recap or whatever ends before the 10-minute mark. Everything else that he's about to do right now is him just talking to his friend on the phone.
Out besides Michael B, but they handling fucking vampires with bullets, and vampires don't die from bullets, but you see these vampires getting fucked up from bullets. 100 vampires coming in to fuck with them, they would have been dead in 2 seconds. How they just dropped the white guy just randomly, like he running through a field and goes to this house. Like they didn't provide no backstory. It's just like they needed a random vampire to pop up to get the story going. Like you need to provide some context. They could have left that part out and just continue with the story of how powerful music is and just introduce the vampires then, because then it would make sense of how these vampires.
See, that's how you know he wasn't paying attention. They were just telling you how music is so powerful that it can lift the veil between the current world, the physical realm, and the afterlife, and how it can open it up and kind of bridge it. See, this is how you know he was not paying attention. Then you would understand why Remick, the head vampire, wanted to get Sammy so bad, because he wanted to reconnect with his Irish ancestors. That was the whole point. And he was the main one. He was like the main high. So whatever happened to him happened to the others. And they even follow some of the vampire rules, like you can only be invited in. You know, with the garlic, the steak, and all that. If he paid attention to the Annie character, she was breaking it down because she knew what it was, because she dealt with the hoodoo. So she knew what they were. She was the only person that knew what they were. Everyone else didn't, because she studied it.
Vampires came across to Buddy because the music was that powerful. Like he just happened to be randomly at some town with his family, and then he hears the music, and now he's there. And then the fucking Indians just that was
Native Americans were chasing him. Were chasing him to kill him, because remember, Native Americans were hunters of the vampires.
Yeah. But that was
and look, his friend had to basically tell him what the Native Americans meant. Because I bet you, if the friend didn't interject and tell him that, he would have said something dumb about the natives and the role they played, even though their role in the movie was relegated to that small little pocket at the beginning of the film. They only was on screen for maybe less than 5 minutes. Shout out to DSB for the 5. He said he's talking like he has fought a vampire. He said this guy's an idiot. He just mad FBA was brought up in that movie. Appreciate you.
Was it? They just had them in there for 2 seconds, and then if the Indians are there,
they were going to show back up during the.
But they didn't.
Did you think that they were going to show up too again or not?
I thought that they were going to include them some other point. You know what I'm saying? These some fucking killers. They know how to handle vamps, and you gonna just a vamp's running loose in your town or whatever. You gonna just let the motherfuckers go? That was stupid. And then you're not gonna tell the bitch that there's a vampire in the crib. You're gonna just let her fucking get killed. Like, to let her know something. Like, you about to die if you leave him in there. He's like, hey, I just hope you have a good night. Now he's not who you think he is. We're gonna bounce. That shit was stupid.
Yeah, he tried to beat the sunset because he didn't want the vampires to come after him.
He wanted to smoke. I want him to bring his ass out. We're gonna fuck his ass up. But he was on some they know what the fuck they doing type of time. But then, all right, well, if you kill Vance, you gonna let this vamp kill this family? And then, like, I didn't know how woke this shit was.
There it is, y'all. Hold on, y'all. There it is. There it is. There's the word. I didn't know how woke
was until after I read about all the double meanings and shit, dog. But once I realized what the fuck the movie was about, it's just like a woke propaganda piece.
You know what this reminded me of? What Jason Whitlock said. You know, Jason Whitlock did say something similar where he said that this was a propaganda thing against white people or something like that. I'm like, how is this a propaganda piece? Somebody please explain this to me. Not him, because he's not going to do it. He just says it.
Because it's
happened. What was woke about it?
Because if the meaning behind the movie is the vampires are irrelevant. The vampire is a metaphor for white people appropriating black culture. So the black people are in the juke joint having a black time. It's black owned. We having a good time. This is our shit. And then they playing the music, which attracts the vampires, which is also the white people. And they want to get in and get down with the black folks, but the black folks don't let them. So then the vampires start playing their music, saying we can get down and shit too, right? But they still don't let them in. And then they eventually get in and they take over. So it's like the white people taking over black spaces, right? That's why they try to emphasize how important music is, specifically to black people. Where they had that scene where Buddy's going crazy playing.
Keep in mind, y'all, this guy is a staunch Eminem fan. I'm sure some people wrote it in the chat, but that also tells you all you need to know. He's a staunch Marshall Mathers, Slim Shady Eminem fan. Don't believe me? Go to his channel and look at some of just type in, go in there and just like, I don't know if he, maybe his reaction channel or whatever, and just type in Eminem in the search bar and look at how many Eminem reactions he had. And also look at how many views it got as well.
In the blues, and they show like how powerful it is, and you see how the future, and you see the past, and how it's rooted in our DNA and all that. They're trying to show how powerful music is to the black culture to emphasize that point.
Did you like that scene at least how they meshed all the music together and stuff?
No. I was already off at that point, bro.
See, look at that. In my opinion, and spoilers for anybody who has not seen the movie, that scene that they're talking about, the part where Sammy's playing the music and they're doing the cinematography work through the juke joint, and you see all the different generations of music meshing together in a circle like that, and then it burns down, and then they're all just doing. I mean, when I saw the person with the turntable, I was like, whoa. I was like, and seeing the people break dancing, and you had the girl, she was out there twerking. I was like, that was very interesting. I said, there should be award nominations just on that scene alone. Ryan Coogler and your team were pure genius for that scene right there. That was probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. But listen to him tell it. He said by that point, we was already tapped out.
I was already pissed at that point.
Did you read this woke stuff before you went?
No, after. But that's why the movie's so appealing to the black community specifically, is because they're purporting this message behind it, bro. It's like about culture vulture, white appropriation, and how white people are just
so you know what? I think we're getting to the core of it. So you're upset because the movie was supposed to be making white people look bad. See, Stevie, let me just tell you something, and let me tell something to all these black conservatives and these bootlicks. Ever since Shiloh Hendrix did what she did, count y'all days. Because if they can feel like they can get away with what she did, you're no longer needed. They about to toss you out, and you can't be over here. So you about to go be a nomad somewhere on an island by yourself.
Just, vampire sucking black energy.
I liked it because of like the way that they showed it, like the authenticity of like the costumes, the town.
Production was fucking phenomenal.
The production was good as shit.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan did his thing.
The acting was phenomenal. The production was phenomenal, but the story was whack. Like, if you just think about it, the plot was it was stupid. Vampires pull up on black people partying, and then that's it. There was no.
That was not just the plot. As a matter of fact, that was just like a backdoor part to the plot. It was way more to it than what he's saying right here. He keeps focusing on the vampire part, but it was a whole story buildup leading to that part. Even the vampires played a significant part into the overall story. But he keeps focusing on that because he thought he was going to watch Underworld, From Dusk Till Dawn, Blade. He said, what, Vampire in Brooklyn? Oh, and don't forget Twilight. Exactly, Chillmong. He said, how could the plot be stupid, but the quote unquote woke message went over your head? Listen. We are not dealing with people who have or dabble in common sense, clearly.
plot. Like, okay, what the fuck did I just watch? And then the whole shootout at the end was fucking whack. It was like, why? And
that was one of the most satisfying scenes. I don't know about y'all, but when Smoke cleared that those Klansmen up at the juke joint, listen, that part right there made me sit up in my chair and I had hair raise up on my spine. That part right there was so satisfying to watch because it was one of the things that you forgot about because it was so much that happened in between that ever since him and his brother got the juke joint from that man. And you forgot about that and then it's like, oh, here's the reminder. But that part was so satisfying.
And that whole concept, like if the KKK,
not when you're breaking it down like that, I see it from that standpoint. 100%.
And then if the KKK really,
and by the way, in case y'all haven't done so already, make sure y'all go look at on YouTube, look at the behind the scenes footage for this movie. It's very, very interesting to watch to see how this movie comes together.
They wanted to fuck up shop and fuck up black people. Why the hell they gonna wait till the juke joint is closed? You really want to kill a bunch of black folks? You pull up when the club is hot and take them all out. Then you going to just kill the owners the next day? That was stupid.
That's because they didn't know about the vampires, and by them I'm talking about the Klan. The Klan was always going to come the next day. They always was going to come. They was always going to pull up. They didn't know about those vampires, though. The vampires practically did all the hard work for them by the time they got there. But see, like I said, this is how you know he wasn't paying attention.
And then the scene with all the vampires died, that's fucking whack. The vampire just stayed out there and saw the sun come up and just volunteered to die. Like, y'all saw the sun coming up, like your master's about to get killed, but y'all have to stand out there and get killed with him. And they made it abundantly clear in the movie that, like, usually in vampire movies, you kill the head vampire, all the vampires die. But they made it clear in this shit that that's not the way it was. You got to kill that fucking vampire. So if the head vampire, even at the end, like the end of credits, Michael B. Jordan's girl was still alive. So the head vampire had nothing to do with them. So all them vampires just stayed out there and died for nothing. They could have fucking left. Seeing the sun come up, that part was stupid. I was really gassed, juiced to see the movie, right? And I knew it was gonna fall short of my expectations because that shit happens all the fucking time. But then once I started going with it and connecting the dots, like, oh, this shit's fucking ass. Because
what dots did you connect? What dots did you connect?
They contradict themselves, bro. If the message behind the fucking movie is to highlight appropriation of black culture, how white people do that shit, what's the point of having the pretty white girl involved with Michael?
Again, he keeps referring to the Mary character played by Haley Steinfeld as a pretty white girl. They made it very clear that she was not all the way white in the movie. Which was a good play on Haley Steinfeld's actual ancestry because her grandfather is black and Filipino. And they used that, her actual ancestral story, sort of in her actual character's storyline. But he keeps referring to her as the pretty white girl as if she was a straight up and down blue-eyed blonde hair or a brown-eyed blonde hair or brunette-haired woman. Like, they established that in the movie when you first get introduced to her character at the train station. Yes, she's basically white passing. And like Wonder Woman 9G said, due to the one drop rule back in the 1930s, Mary would not have been seen as white. But he keeps referring to her as the pretty white girl.
Will be Jordan be the lead cause of everything happening, right? It's because of her that the vampires got in the motherfucking the crib. The point of the movie is to demonize white people, right?
Oh, there it is. I sound like KG right there. Look, do y'all hear what he just said? It took 15 minutes and 31 seconds to get to the point of the movie was to demonize white people. That after all of this, that's what it boiled down to him for. Well, the point of the movie was to demonize white people.
Right.
Opa Laka 305 says, is this dude a tether? I don't know if he's from this planet, let alone a tether. But one thing we can say for certain is he's very off code.
So the white people coming in and take over, but the white people that y'all are championing is like, she's culturally down, like she grew up with us and shit. But she's a pretty white girl that lets the vampires in. Like she's the reason everything popped off. She got Michael B. Jordan, everything popped off because of that. And then at the same time, if you want to empower black people, bro, why would you have this big black fat girl be the representation of like
look at, and now this is what he's talking about, the Annie character. He refers to Mary, who is not all the way white, as the pretty white girl, but then he refers to the Annie character, who obviously was one of the main MVPs of this movie, as the big fat black girl. Keep in mind, he said Mary was the pretty white girl, even though she's not all the way white. And he referred to Annie, who was dark skinned and on the thicker side, as big fat black girl. This is what he said. And let this be real here. How he described Mary, that's the type of woman he likes, hence the woman that he's with now, versus Annie, which is the woman he would not even dare give a hi or a wink or a nod to if he was to pass her on the street. He basically just told you right here how he felt about dark skin, thicker black women. Meanwhile, he's with a white woman with a black scent.
Like the black savior woman. She was the one that knew the shit. She knew how to kill the vampire. She was the one to put everybody on game. You would represent the black woman in that regard, this big fat black girl, but then have the white girl, the pretty white girl, the pretty motherfucker, and she's the reason why everybody got fucked up.
So basically what you're saying is you're upset because Annie, the thick black woman, was the savior or knew what to do. And you're mad because, in his words, the pretty white girl was the dumb, non-blonde blonde that went out there and did what she did. So there's another thing. He felt like Mary should have been the smart one and Annie should have been the dumb idiot. Exactly, Chill. He calls her a pretty a lot, but I'm like, Mary as well as Haley Steinfeld would not back then be considered white.
I did talk to the person about that after that I went to the movie with. I was just kind of like, damn, how they.
Now, I want y'all to keep in mind, y'all, this is just his recap review of it. We still got to go over the video where he responds to the people roasting him. That's why I said put the coffee pot on.
They did do the compare and contrast in regards to the contrasting of the white girl and the big black girl. I did say that.
That white girl didn't need to be white. It could have been another black girl that went out there and did the same shit. They made her white.
Look at that. He would rather have sacrificed. He would rather sacrifice the black girl or a black woman. And the only other black person that could have went out there, because it was Annie and then it was Pearline, the one that Sammy liked, played by Jamie Lawson, who was in my running to be Storm. So he would have rather sacrificed a black woman, a fully black woman, rather than the white passing woman, because she's pretty. So because in his eyes, Annie was big, fat, and ugly, she should have got sacrificed because she's big, fat, and ugly. I mean, he might as well just go ahead and say that.
Hey, what's the point of making her white? If the message is to demonize white people, what's the point of making her white?
Probably inclusion, but hey, man, watch how you say that white girl, because that white girl, she kind of bad.
She did her thing too. She did her fucking thing. She got her ass off.
What do you think about her personality in that movie, though?
Yeah, she pulled that old Southern dialect ass off. She sounded like a goddamn sister.
Yeah, she was.
Why and Stevie, why is that? Why did she sound like a sister in your eyes? Why? Hey, Dre, I don't know if you're still in this chat, but I don't think you made it this far in your reaction to this video. Why, Stevie, did she sound like a sister to you? All you can do is just laugh at this, y'all. Oh, I can't wait till I get through the next video so I can drop this link, because I know y'all got a lot to say about this.
It was like you just stuck your tongue in my coochie.
Yeah.
She was like, oh. And then when she was a vampire, she was like, oh, well, you can steal for them, but you can't steal this pussy.
Yeah, bro.
Wait, I thought wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. Didn't he say that him and his girl clocked out after 30 minutes of the movie? The part that he's referring to that him and his friend are talking about, that was way past 30 minutes into the movie. That was maybe about, he probably had about maybe another 15 minutes to go, but I thought you was clocked out. Oh, but you was locked in on the part where she was talking about, or what was she doing? Going outside, and she came back and she was being all freaky with Stack and spitting in his mouth and riding him in the room and all types of stuff. You was locked in for that, though. That was way past 30 minutes. That was past the 30-minute mark. See, he just told on himself right here. We know what part you liked.
I said, damn, bro, she with the shit. I said, God damn.
Yeah. The acting was fire, but I don't like. I'm not the message and the plot was whack.
Do you think that was his best role? Do you think that was his best role?
Michael B. Yeah, definitely, because he pulled off two characters at once and shit, and he did his thing.
Did you like how he played both the brothers?
Yeah.
It was kind of believable that it was two of them. You feel me?
Nah, he did his thing. He definitely did his thing.
And I was more so talking about the ambiance of it, the whole, like you said, the production standpoint.
Yeah.
I like how the standpoint. I like how that the famous brother, the one that kind of reminded me of Samuel Jackson, him. I don't know his name, but
they're talking about Delroy Lindo.
Like
the drunk.
Yeah. I like him in movies. I like the young man that played the guitar. You know, like I don't know. I like the music aspect.
Yeah, you like the ambiance. You like.
And I'm gonna go back on what somebody said earlier, and I think it might have been Jonathan that said it. If he claims he liked the cinematography, the production, the music, the acting, and the only thing he can critique was the writing, then this movie could not have been trash. Because in order for the movie to be trash, everything had to be mid to below mid. So I don't know how he's saying the movie is trash if you gave more pros than cons.
Like everything outside of the actual movie. Like that plot was whack, bro.
I was caught up in the ambiance of it all and the whole, like, the acting that I didn't even, until you mentioned it now, I didn't think nothing of the plot. I swear to God.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of movies to me is the fucking plot, the story. The story was whack. Like I compare it to Get Out, bro. It's the same shit.
Oh God, no, you didn't compare this movie to Get Out. And nothing against Get Out, because Get Out is that's another lightning in a bottle movie right there. Shout out to Jordan Peele. But what? How? No. That's a bad comparison. They're not anything the same. They're nowhere near the same plot. They're nowhere near the same narrative. Get Out? Are you serious? That's just about as bad as people saying it's like From Dusk Till Dawn.
But Get Out as a movie was fire. Get Out had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. They tried to do a Get Out and failed miserably.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
They still had that agenda. It was still divisive. It was still like white versus black. You know what I'm saying? Turning blacks into slaves.
What do you mean turning black? Okay. Y'all, we only got a few more minutes, y'all. We only got a couple more minutes.
It was called the other movie that killed it or whatever his name is, or
it's called Us. Yeah, like Duality. I saw that. That shit. I ain't like that one that much. He was trying to do too much. But Get Out.
Why did your wife dislike the movie?
Look at that. He didn't even understand the plot of Us. We understood it. He didn't understand Us. I'm not even gonna ask him what he felt about Nope.
Huh?
Why did your wife dislike the movie?
For the same reasons I did, bro. Like I think we got the same mind, bro. Like we were looking at.
Well, clearly. The man asked him, why did your wife dislike it? He said, for the same reason I disliked it. We have the same mind. Definitely. That's evident. Based on the little bit she said in the beginning of this video, we can clearly see y'all share the same brain. And ain't nothing up there but hollow space. You knock on that head one time and it's echoing.
Each other the whole time in the theater, like just rolling our eyes, bro. I was like, because we didn't get it, bro. It's like, why is everybody fucking with this shit so much? And it's because of what you're saying, like the production, the ambiance, the music is fire, right? They were able to depict that time back in the day real well, man. The staging, the location, all that. But I don't watch movies for all that. Like I appreciate it, but I'm there for like the writing. Like, what's up, man? Let me see what y'all doing. And it's just a political like propaganda piece to me.
A political propaganda piece. Exactly, Jonathan. He liked Get Out, but disliked Sinners. That was another movie that made you think. And it was a whole bunch of discussions. I remember when Jordan Peele was getting invited onto college campus to have symposiums about that movie.
To empower, it's like black victimhood. You know what I'm saying? But you can't.
Hold on, wait a minute. I think he almost had a Freudian slip with something. Hold on, let me rewind that part right quick.
Writing, like, what's up, man? Let me see what y'all doing. And it's just a political, like, propaganda piece to me to empower. It's like black.
No, notice when he was getting ready to say it, he said it was a propaganda piece and he was getting ready to say to empower black people, but he caught himself after empower and said to
victimhood. You know what I'm saying?
For black people to dabble in victimhood.
And we can't have shit. We got these vampire bloodsuckers taking over our shit, which was it's actually a cool idea to do, but they could have did it much better. They could have made that shit fire, made it more believable. It had a dope ass plot.
Yeah,
I would like to know, Stevie, can you write a better plot? That's what I'd like to know. Like if they, like if you sat down in front of a computer today, could you type up a script that could rival this one? And if so, we would love to see it.
What did you think of the second ending?
When they pulled up to the bar?
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. What would you take from that? Was that like?
Don't ask him what he think. He probably, you know what? Let me.
Was there anything in that made you think like it was?
No, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a creative ending for it, and you know what I mean. So they say that they really fuck with each other and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? My brother told me to let you live. So I let you live, and I thought it was cool. It was cute.
Okay, cool. Yeah, in my head, I was like, okay, cool. Like he kept his word with his brother.
Yeah.
And then I also thought, and I also kind of low key thought for a second, the person I went with, I was like, yo, like when you did say, because I watched like the Twilight, I watched like the Vampire Diary shit and all that stuff, and it's just I've seen a lot of vampire stuff, and when they're newborns, they're the strongest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, that's one thing that I did. I was kind of like, normally the people who even turn them over tend to be weaker than the new ones, because the new ones are the strongest because they're the hungriest. They're you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't have enough control and shit. So yeah, I could see that.
And vampires heal, bro. And when that part when he shot Buddy in the face and Buddy's face didn't heal, I'm like, bro, you're a vampire. You're not a fucking zombie. Like vampires' faces heal. Tedious, but like I like vampires. You're gonna do vampires, you gotta do it right.
See, and that's the thing. He's applying other vampire films and plots to this one. That's what he keeps doing, and that's what he constantly trips himself up at. I'm not going to react to the rest of that. What we're going to do now is we're going to go and we're going to look at the comments that the response video he made to this, which was about just as bad. Shout out to the 263 people that's in the chat. I'm glad that y'all are still here. We got this one last video to go over, and then I'm going to drop the link. I can't wait for y'all to let it rip. With this one again, this one right here I did not see. Out of the one I just watched, I saw it, but this one I did not see. Shout out to the fundraiser for the 5. He said, you think he said the same thing about they clone Tyrone? Appreciate you for the 5. First off, I don't even know if he watched that movie. I don't know if he watched it. And they clone Tyrone was so good that I literally there was about 10 minutes left in the movie. I literally paused the movie before seeing what the ending was and made a review about it. And then I had to go back and edit it to tell people to make sure that the ending was one heck of a plot twist that I did not see coming. But let's see what Stevie had to say as it pertains to how people responded to him in his comment section from that video that we just watched.
I'm about to be a doozy, but when I tell y'all your boy's getting cooked in the comments, man. Good.
My thing is that he think a lot of people was going. He must have thought that because of the type of audience that he has, that they was going to just agree with everything that he said. No, the same thing happened with Faken when he talked about Uvalde and Tyree Nichols. They think that because of the type of audience that they have, that they can come at certain topics or things like this and think that everyone's going to have the hive mind and just agree with everything that they say.
God. Other day I left a review to the movie The Sinners, right?
If you want to call it that.
And pretty much said that in the video. And I gave a compelling argument, right? I was giving reasons as to why I didn't like it.
He did he just say he gave a compelling argument as to and reasons as to why he didn't like it? Is he serious right now? Did he... Woo! GDS isn't Sinners at number 1 again. No, it's actually at number 3. It's number 3 in the this movie has not been out of the top 5 since it got released. As a matter of fact, I think number 3 is the lowest it's been since its release. And the movie has been out for a month because it came out on the 18th of April and it's now the 19th. It's been in the movies for over a month, and they re-released it in IMAX 70 millimeter for a week, and they're going to take it out on the 21st. But don't worry, y'all. I'm going to go over the numbers about Sinners on Wednesday when I do my live about Ryan Coogler and the moves that he made that is basically industry changing and how they claim to be so scared of the move that he made. But we're going to go over that on Wednesday and all the numbers and all of that good stuff.
No. The video is still available if you want to see it. Oh, and with that, I knew people was going to disagree just because the movie was so popular and the reviews of it have been outstanding, right? That's what instigated my whole video. Was like, man, why is this movie so popular? Hey, I knew it was going to be a lot of, pushback, whatever, man. I'm like, yeah, let's talk.
We on Lock Nation says Sinners a beating Thunderbolts. We on Lock Nation, you better go look at those global numbers. I think Sinners is like now sitting at like 317 million or almost $330 million globally. Well, like I said, we're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over all of that on Wednesday.
Talk about it. I mean, it's good discourse. It's good conversations and whatnot. I mean, hey, ordinarily, I'm not surprised by anything on social media, bro. Period. Yeah, I mean, but when I tell y'all how peeps' feelings is hurt because your boy didn't like a movie,
people see now he's gonna try to throw it back on people and saying their feelings are hurt. Trust me, Stevie, the people's feelings are not hurt. They're just calling you out on this trash so-called review that you did because it didn't make any sense. Like none. You can have your opinion about a movie, but nothing in there. He claimed he made a compelling argument on why the movie was trash, but he really didn't. He spent more time on his phone talking to his friend after claiming that his PC stopped recording when it didn't to talk about this movie. He could have ended that video in less than 10 minutes, but he kept it going for 22 minutes.
I'm saying they cooking your boy. All because little old me didn't like the movie, bro. So that just gave me the idea of I want to read more comments with y'all. Yeah, I read a few, you know what I mean? And the ones I read, it's like I think that people are just triggered by the title and didn't even watch the video, bro.
Oh my God. They did watch the video. Did you look at your comment section? You talking about you going over comments. People literally quoted some of the stuff that you said in your so-called review in the comments. And he talking about, it's clear people only just watched the title and just left the comment. No, they didn't. I looked at his comment section, y'all. I looked at his comment section. People were literally quoting some of the stuff that he said and literally rebutting what he said. Now he's trying to claim people didn't look at the video because all they saw was the title. What? So now you're just sitting up here lying on your chat.
Because it's like, bro, by the response in the comments, you would have thought that I said call black people. That's the type of energy everybody got in the comments, bro. Hey, you, everything you stand on, you ain't your white girl, you conservative ass Uncle Tom piece. Bro, when I'm giving my opinion, like real valid reasons of why I didn't like the movie, bro. My goal of this video.
Who was he fooling? Like someone said, the Dark Titan, exactly, delusion. The delusion is real.
Is to read some comments. I mean, it's about like 600 comments now, man. I don't know how many I'm gonna read. I'm gonna.
Actually, we on Lock Nation. The number one movie in America right now is Final Destination Bloodlines. Final Destination Bloodlines is actually the number one movie in America right now, domestically and globally. It made like $51 million. And I think they said this is the highest grossing Final Destination movie ever. and it's the 6th one in the franchise.
I'm gonna read for a few minutes here to see if I come across a actual compelling argument against my critique of the movie. Right, my actual critique of the movie. You know what I mean? Not the disrespect, not the ad hominem attacks. You know what I mean? I want to see if somebody can provide me a solid reason why they disagree with my actual points of the movie. And to summarize those points, right?
And that's the thing. I don't know why he thinks that his take is not easily debunked. We just spent the last hour debunking it. It's very easy to debunk. He thinks that he thinks he said something so profound that we can't debunk it. What he feels high, he thinks very highly of himself.
I went in expecting a horror movie. A lot of people in the comments said it's not a horror movie. Hey, if you check the damn movie, it says horror/adventure. It's a horror movie. It's vampires, right? That's what they're selling it as. If you see the preview, it looks like a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? And then how their display of vampires was incorrect. There's holes in the script, and
there's holes in your brain.
The plot was whack to me. You know what I'm saying? As far as all the meanings and the metaphors or whatnot, man, like I can appreciate the attempt. You know what I mean? But to debunk anybody's point as far as me being this whole Uncle Thomas conservative, what else they call me, bootlicking ass, whatever, bro. Like, sole reason that Get Out is one of my favorite movies ever. It's like this debunks that whole attack on me. But you know what I'm saying? That's
the fact that he said Get Out of his favorite movie and he said all of those things right here just lets me know that movie could have very well been a biopic on his life. So Stevie, are you here telling us that Get Out is about you, in that you, sir, are indeed in the sunken place? That's what I'm gathering.
That's just what it is. Come with the territory, bro. Get Out is fire, and it delivers the same message, more or less. But that was an actual fire-ass horror, suspense, thriller type of film. Anyway, I'm just looking for an actual argument against the points I made for my critiques of the film. All right.
So many never mind. Let's go.
I guess I'm gonna refresh them. Newest first. Here we go. You're so damn close-minded that you didn't understand the movie. They explained why the KKK went back in the morning, but you weren't paying attention to what was being said because the main vampire said what was about to happen and why. Okay. You can say this movie is entertaining, but
notice he didn't critique that first person's comment because he couldn't debunk it because the movie literally did just that.
Other than that, I don't want to hear any others praise for it. The difference between a movie like Get Out and this is Jordan Peele is actually a very intellectual director and writer and can write a deeper message and twist on Black culture and racism. Ryan Coogler simply gets an all-Black cast and begins to receive praise. He doesn't actually do anything other than teach racism is bad throughout his movies, something I would assume everyone realizes at this point. Don't ever compare this trash, one-dimensional movie to a movie like Get Out or Nope. This movie, Sinners, is a perfect example of why I'll never trust Rotten Tomatoes and people with a good moral compass, but lack of true understanding will praise any movie with Black people nowadays. I wasn't expecting that.
Now, I want y'all to understand something. It's a reason why Stevie put or started with the new comments first and not the top comments, because the top comments were the ones that were really flaming him. The newer comments, those were the ones that were kind of like agreeing with him. So he's showing the new comments first. And I don't know if he's going to show the top comments, but the top comments were the ones that were roasting him. Those were the ones that he's trying to avoid. Don't believe me? Go to his page and you can see it for yourself.
You watch Twilight? That is the gayest vampire movie ever. Give me your man card. I first thought the title was clickbait, but what is trash is your entire take. You deserve to get dragged for this one. Your political stance is so off base that you can't even appreciate a really good movie. Like, what does my political stance have to do with anything? Anyway,
you literally said in your so-called recap that this movie was a quote-unquote political propaganda or something like that. You said that. He said it. And you said it was during Jim Crow.
Crazy how people unsubscribe because they think Stevie is an Uncle Tom for having his own opinion on some movie. Talking sideways about his girl and shit. This message might have gone over his head, but the divide in America is because people over there can't seem to get over the whole race thing. We all know there's differences in black and white culture, but come on, it's an opinion about a movie. We all are entitled to our own opinion, regardless of heritage. This man support black culture every day by doing reaction videos of hip hop and breaking down the bars.
Oh, please. Oh, please. So the person who wrote that, get out of here with that. He supports black people because he does reaction to hip hop videos. Really? That comment was about as trash as his whole video that he did that we just went over.
This coon has the nerve to be on camera with a basic Becky while dissing a really good movie, shaking my damn head. Ninjas will never learn, even though there's 400 years of historical proof. Shannon Sharp 2.0, a coon, gonna be a coon. Black men have always been the weakest link in the black community. Enough said. Yeah, I don't know about this take, LOL. Coon alert. The visuals were great. The people were beautiful. Black culture is beautiful. And seeing a black man in a position where he has wealth and autonomy is always uplifting to see, but the actual story could have been better. I don't know how they were soldiers and gangsters and had time to make a baby. The baby dies in 7 years. It's 1932 when Smoke has combat experience. World War I already happened and World War II hadn't yet. It was entertaining nonetheless because black culture is always nice to watch. I prefer Native American, please. Yep, it's just y'all. That movie is great. Nosferatu 2024 is the best vampire movie ever made. I need to see that.
I thought you was a vampire fan. You would have known about it. You would have known about Nosferatu, but I thought you was a vampire fan. Which, by the way, Nosferatu is a good movie. I would say that it definitely is an acquired taste, but it is a good film, though. It's dark. It's very dark. I will say that. And the movie came out last year. It came out, was it last year? I think it was last year.
The movie was good, just had a dark meaning behind it. The fact that the only thing black people can say is the acting was good, the costumes were good, the set design was good, shows zero intelligence. The story was garbage. And the white Irish vampires did not appropriate black culture because he was singing an Irish jig. Black folk did not grow up and stop demonizing white people to feel better about themselves. Such a silly people. Black Africans sold other Africans to white. Blame your ancestors. Oh, see, it's a whole. See, that was my whole point, bro. That was my whole point.
Again, like I told you, the reason why he started with the new comments is because a lot of the newer comments were agreeing with him, but the top comments were flaming him. And I'm gonna keep playing. I'm gonna keep playing it because I want to see if he's gonna go to them top comments. But I doubt that he does. I'll see if he does, but I doubt it.
I'm gonna get to it, bro. I want to see somebody's argument against my points. I thought it was trash too. People are so quick to jump on the hype train. This man tripped out on the whole movie. What was woke about this movie? Y'all big influencers pushing that woke narrative way too much. You are correct.
And notice he's using the bastardized version of woke too. I just pointed that out.
I believe it may be his crossover to signing a solo way. You have to understand whatever America is told, they follow. But I couldn't agree more with you and your wife. Trash is a clean way of saying it. Just because he has a difference in opinion than any of you sure makes y'all come with personal attacks on him, man. Some sensitive ass people here that act like he's trashing you personally. I haven't seen it yet, but I have a feeling you gave an incredibly bad take on the movie. I've heard a few white people mildly complain about the prejudice in the film, but they usually say overall it's a great movie. Using Matt and tripping. He has to dislike the film to keep peace at home. Did he really say the big black girl what? So big bone black women can't be saviors? Wow. That was one of my arguments with the movie is that, the pretty white girl who initiated the whole problem, right? When the whole meaning behind the movie is this divisive tone. Right.
You literally just said, and what is with this blinking that he's doing is getting on my nerves. It's so annoying. Why is he blinking? Is this man glitching? Or is this what happens when he's lying? Is it a twitch? What is that? The fact of the matter is you refer to Mary, who is in the movie not white by societal standards at that time, as the pretty white girl, and you're still doing it. And he referred to Annie as the big fat black girl multiple times. That was the issue people had, and you got upset because she was the savior, and in your eyes, or in your words, the pretty white girl did something dumb. And that was somehow being divisive and painting white people in a bad light.
Right, but they make an effort to have the pretty white girl who's involved with one of the twins. It's her. She initiated the whole problem by getting.
You know what I think that switch came from, y'all? I think it came from that boxing match. If you know, you know.
Turned into a vampire. Really started the whole plot, right? And then you have you know, the black savior being a big black woman. Like, if the whole movie is about black empowerment and how beautiful it is, like, why would y'all make the contrast between that so glaring, bro? The pretty white girl, which caused all the problems, and then the big black girl, which is the savior, bro. I just think that's contradictory.
So you're saying because she's the big black girl, again, he thinks that she's ugly. How can the big black, and he might as well just said ugly woman, be the savior, but the pretty white girl, as he claims, was the one that was the cause of, you know, setting things off?
Contradictory to the message behind the movie. But, you know, that's just me. Call me a coon.
You can tell he feels some type of way about this. You know, he feels some type of way about this.
And it isn't a horror story. Coogler just added those elements to emphasize that the black experience and our joy often comes from much trauma. It definitely says horror. Bro, if you don't like the movie, don't try to make other people not like the film, talking about if you plan on seeing the movie, don't watch it. That sounds like some hating shit. You're an asshole clown at this point, dude. Of course you wouldn't like it. Sinners is a 9 out of 10 movie for me. My second favorite movie this year, so far behind Companion. But I haven't heard anybody say why, bro. Perhaps you should stick to hip hop and leave movie reviews alone. The movie is good.
You didn't even say why you didn't like it. You kept saying that the plot was bad, but you didn't say why the plot was bad. See, what he could have did was he could have, instead of making this video right here critiquing the comments that people were going at him with, he could have made a whole video talking about or picking apart the plot, but he didn't do that because he can't do that because it was nothing wrong with the plot.
Maybe a little overhyped, but definitely what made has amazing musical scores as well as tremendous acting. Bro, do better. Takes like this affect your brand. Did it hurt you seeing Michael B shooting those KKK guys? Some of you commenting are idiots. Stephen Lee openly said Twilight came off as gay and goofy and silly, but he likes it in a guilty pleasure type of way, but still appreciate that it's a vampire movie. He never said Twilight was a masterpiece because it's not. We all got to get politic detox. It has fried this man's soul. Seek God. Gawk glazing, guzzling milk of magnesia and 5. This is very similar to when white people said that the Super Bowl halftime show was trash because they didn't get the message or didn't rock with the message.
That, you know what? Shout out to the person who made that comment because that is very true. It was a lot of PC individuals that said they couldn't rock with Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance because they didn't get the message. That's because the message wasn't for you. And they got so irate about that, trying to say that was the worst Super Bowl halftime ever. Meanwhile, it was the most watched Super Bowl halftime in history. So much watched, in fact, that it beat Michael Jackson's Super Bowl halftime performance back in 1993. Imagine that. A black man held the record since 93, since they started allowing performers do the halftime show. And his performance got beat by another black man over 30 years later.
People do anything to be different. Stevie Knight, the reason why you think the movie Sinners is trash is because you have zero culture. I know you were trying to impress your white wife or girlfriend by throwing black people under the bus. You are trash. Oh my God, I hate you. Keep popping up in my YouTube algorithm. Seems as though you completely missed the religious, spiritual aspects of the film as well. Lost one. Wow, dude is sitting in the car with the white woman shitting on a movie about blacks that black people like. Coons are horrible. The comments did not vibe. The movie was too long, subpar shit.
And notice that he's not, okay, you know, I was about to say something crazy. Let me hold back.
I read the comments. It was a decent movie, but y'all exaggerating a bit, saying so fire. I watched it with no expectations, no complaints, just a fun movie. But then again, I didn't hear any of the hype at all, so that helps. Reach out to Michael and talk about it. Black men can have different opinions. You absolutely lost me when describing the big fat black lady and the pretty white women. All you had to do was call them by names. There's everybody in their feelings.
The reason why he couldn't do it is because he couldn't even call them by their names. Notice when he did his so-called recap, he didn't call any of the people in the movie by their names, by their character names. He only said Michael B. Jordan, and that's because that's the only person he could think of off rip because he knows it's Michael B. Jordan. But notice this guy didn't break down the story. He just said the plot was trash. He didn't talk about the characters, character development, character arcs. He talked about how the production and some cinematography was good, but he didn't give an example of how the production was good or how the cinematography was good. Maybe what was his favorite part of the movie. You know, what he did. All he did was get on there and say a bunch of filth for about 8 minutes, and then his PC mysteriously cut off and he forgot it was recorded, and boom, now he's talking to his friend for like the next 20 minutes.
Could be wrong, but I felt the message was really about the dangers of assimilation. Bro, I have respect for you, but your opinion this was trash. The movie is damn near masterpiece. Tell me why. Everybody disagreeing, not saying any facts. Everybody disagreeing, not saying any counter arguments tells me everything.
We just counter argued your whole thing in the last hour. That's the thing. He thinks that people that's leaving those comments in there are like they're really just calling you trash because they think that you just gave a trash take, which you did. But the thing is, I'm sure there are other people that have debunked this on here that you did not come back at with or respond to. I would be shocked if he saw this. I would be shocked if he's watching this if he's lurking right now. Even though this is a 3-week-old video.
I just seen it. I'm gonna keep it 100. The shit was absolute garbage. Everything he's saying is straight facts. Disappointing as a vampire flick or whatever the fuck it was trying to do. I don't think movie reviews is your thing. I'm with you.
It's really not. If this is how he reviews movies, then movie reviews are definitely not his thing.
Stevie, movie was hot trash. You're not
because like think about it for a second. I'll give you an example. When I went to go see the movie Hard Eyes back in February, I hated that movie, but I gave reasoning as to why the movie was bad, and I gave examples as to why it was bad, and I wouldn't recommend it. That's not what he did. I still gave a review and told you why that movie was not good. I just didn't come on here and say Hard Eyes was trash. The end. That's essentially what he did with this. He didn't explain why he didn't hate it. He just said the plot was bad. He liked the production. He liked the cinematography. He said the writing was horrible. He said he liked the actors. Then why didn't you go and tell you why you go into details of the stuff that you did like? And then go into the details, more concrete details of what you did not like. That would have made it a more compelling argument. Instead, we got what we saw in the last hour.
Not a good storyteller. Sorry, the main character embodied one of the 7 deadly sins, the Asians siding with blacks when it came to the money, believing and jeopardizing others. All this puzzle piece stuff, man.
Look at that puzzle piece stuff. Something that, again, this movie just went and flew right over his head. See, you can tell this guy right here, at least when it comes to this movie, I can't speak on it for anything else, is very surface level thinking. If it's not something that's out there just plainly and it's already put together for him, if it's something he has to put together himself, he's going to like, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not dealing with this. Yet he loved to Get Out.
So I first saw you drop this 12 hours ago, and I didn't think much of it because you trashed the movie, and I always go by your advice. And as I love horror and vampire movies, well, I was talking to a couple of brothers who both saw Sinners. They saw it in Dolby Sound. They said that this music passes right through your soul, but what's notably is that they loved the movie, and we're going to see it again. Stevie, I think you got to rewatch it in your eyes, exposing a lot of truths, like how music conjures spirits. All right, man. I can't do this all day. All right.
And look at that. He didn't even go to the top comments like I knew he would. I knew he wasn't going to go through them top comments. I knew he wasn't.
Nobody.
And he can't go through it anymore because he said, I can't do this no more, and just started scrolling. This is the equivalent of, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Anything to counter my arguments. I'm sure I'm going to post this again, bro. I'm not going to go through all these 600 comments. But no,
read the top comments. That's where it's really interesting. That's the top comments is where the comment section thrives.
No one has argued any of my points, bro. Right. And I mean, really, these comments weren't as bad as the ones I read yesterday. Let me see top comments.
Ah, there it is. Now these are the ones right here. I was worried he wasn't going to go over them, but he about to go over the top comments, y'all. He about to go over the top comments.
Hold on. So it's woke to depict 1930s Mississippi as racist. Motherfucker offended by reality. Okay, so maybe these are the good ones. I know this click rage bait, but I can't resist. You want to argue it's over?
He said maybe this is the good one. Dude, he was insulting you. What in the what?
For hype, that's one thing, but the calling it trash is crazy. The problem was you let your political mind get in the way of just watching a movie. You say some real stupid ass anti-woke takes, but this got to be up there with the dumbest. When you say I'm a horror movie fan and your examples include Twilight, of course you're not going to like a movie that is smarter than your usual things you like. It's your opinion and it's valid, but this is a great movie. Bro, I was using Twilight because I didn't like Twilight initially because the vampire movie was whack. I didn't understand the hype, so I can understand the hype about this one. But then realizing what it was about, I could appreciate what they were trying to do. Right? Missed the whole point, but anyway.
Then why did you bring up Twilight then? That's where the contradiction is real.
Probably shouldn't do movie reviews. Can't take your opinion seriously anymore. I was in the audience that clapped afterwards. You don't understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works. Everything you think you understand will only confuse you. If anyone were to call this trash, I would have predicted it'd be them. Oh, all right.
He only read like 5 of the top comments because I told you that's where they was roasting him. Notice how many of the new comments he read, because a lot of them were agreeing with him. He read about like 10 to 15. When it came to the top comments, he was like, okay, that's it. He read like 5 of them because they was cooking them. And trust me, I scrolled through those comments. They were going in on him in those top comments. And shout out to Dana for the 50. She said, Mr. Rain, you got me. LMAO. Listen, I'm telling you, this is funny. This is straight up hilarious. No need to get upset. It really isn't. This is hilarious. This is gut busting laughter right here. And they say laughter is good for the soul.
Anyway, yesterday when I was in the comments, bro, they was going crazy. Like, just give me the business. But I ain't about to fucking sit here and read for fucking hours. These comments weren't even that bad, man. But like I said, you can't even find any like arguments against my critiques of the film. And I gave objective critiques outside of my feelings about the message behind the movie, bro. But like I say, I fuck with Get Out, and Get Out delivers the same message, bro. I think,
and that again, he thinks that he gave a compelling argument about why this movie was trash, and he didn't. And he's the only one outside of the few people who left comments under the video that thinks that. Even people I know, because I know a couple of people that said they did that they didn't like the movie. But they didn't go off the deep end like he did, like what he did. He right now, him and probably Jason Whitlock are in a category all unto themselves. Shout out to SD Johnson for the 10. They said we in the vortex, right? We somewhere. We in the shadow realm. We in the vortex. Something.
I think messages like that are divisive in nature. Hence the clap back to me in these comments, bro. That's the really glaring thing about this to me is that this movie serves as a channel to be divisive, bro, because if y'all go in the comments yourself, the ones I just read just now weren't that bad, but there was in the comments in there attacking me, you know, who I am as a person, calling me racist, calling me coon, attacking my girl, you know what I'm saying, talking about our relationship and shit, bro. And it's like, you know, once it gets to that point.
What does that sound like, y'all? What is he doing right now? What is he doing? What is he acting like? I want to see if someone in the chat is going to say it. I'll highlight the first one who says it. What is he acting like right now when he said just what he said right here? What is he acting like? Stevie, you brought that roast on yourself. The people who's going in on you, you brought that on yourself. There was so many ways you could have went about this review if you didn't like it, and people would have said, okay, I get it, I understand it. Okay, you didn't like it, and okay, I see why you didn't like it. It is what it is. Or you picked apart what it is and whatever. But that's not what you did, though. And for some odd reason, he believes he gave a compelling argument about why he believes this movie was trash, and he didn't do that. Then he comes and makes this video and claims that no one properly rebutted him because they were just roasting him. Yeah, of course they was roasting you in the comment section because you brought that roast on yourself.
When I'm simply giving an opinion on the movie and I'm getting attacked personally, you lost the argument. If you can't debate what I'm saying.
And that's the thing about, well, here's the thing about movie reviews, Stevie. It sounds to me like you might be new to it. When you're doing movie reviews, you have to balance out your opinion with facts. You did not do a balancing act at all. You just gave your opinion the whole time, and it was a very lopsided one at that. See, when I do reviews of movies, I will go over what the movie is about and all this, that, and the third, and the facts of the movie, while also giving and sprinkling in my opinion. That's why if y'all looked at the review that I did on Final Destination Bloodlines, everything that I talked about in the first few minutes of the movie was all basically facts about the film. When I got to the pros and cons portion of the movie, or my review, that is when I leaned in on my opinion. My opinion actually was about maybe 5% of that entire review. 95% of it was about what the film was about, the characters, and what I saw visually and all that good stuff. He, on the other hand, did not do that.
With just objective or subjective facts or claims, you lost the argument when you attack me as a person. And that's a result of this movie being what it is. It's a divisive movie. So it's like, if you don't support...
How is it divisive? I don't get that. He keeps saying that. How is it divisive? See, this is again him throwing on the K for PC. How is it divisive?
This, then fuck you, you against black people. I can't be real. I can't give my opinion because it doesn't align with the cultural black opinion about this shit, bro. At this point, I still think the movie's fucking trash.
And the thing is, there were some black people that didn't like it either, but they didn't sound like you did. So the thing is, what are you really talking about? As far as we know, you are like one of the only people that said something to this degree. There were even other white people that probably didn't like this movie who didn't go as far as you did. So that's a problem. You would expect they would have did that, but you did it. That's the problem people are having, and you don't see it, or you're trying not to.
The plot is terrible, bro. I got to fucking sit here and connect the dots and all that. I don't want...
Again, he going back to that connecting the dots thing. He does surface level. That's what I mean. Surface level viewer scope is what he has.
I don't want to sit here and be doing that shit, bro. You know what I mean? I got time for that. Like, make a movie like this.
It's clearly evident. He said he don't have time for that. Okay, then I need to know, what movie have you watched that you do understand? I need to know. Again, this is the same guy that said he loved to Get Out. That's why it's kind of blowing my mind right now that this movie is hard for him to grasp, even though they're not the same movie.
And falling short of something like a Get Out, right? Like, they missed the mark for me. Right? It fell short of what they were trying to do. But like, when you put movies out like this, where, you know, people are out here coming up with other reasons outside the actual plot to say why they enjoyed the movie, bro. I like the costumes. I like the music. It spoke to my soul. That's all that shit. So subjective, bro. The fucking story is whack. No one talked about the story. The story's fucking trash. The main...
He said, well, maybe, Stevie, maybe what you needed to do was, before making this review, maybe you needed to go watch other people's recap and review of the movie to get an understanding, if you didn't get it by watching the movie, which is evident you didn't, because you said in your own review that you and your girl tapped out after 30 minutes. Mind you, the movie is about 2 hours plus long. And you tapped out after 30 minutes because it didn't get to the vampires in time, or it didn't get to the vampire part or the horror part fast enough for you.
Focus on this movie was to pander to the black community, bro. To focus on the black community, dog.
And if it did, so what? What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? So what you're telling me is, if this was a majority white cast, you would, and it had the same kind of plot, maybe rework the little things to their favor, you would have been all for it. That's the vibe I'm getting from him. If it was white people and they was in the same situation, and it was the black people and they were the vampires coming in and doing whatever, you would have been okay with that. Y'all, he basically just told on himself right here. The reason why he didn't like this movie is because it catered to foundational Black American culture. And it's eating him up that's a focal narrative of this film. Even Ryan Coogler said it in one of his interviews, that's what the movie was about, or who, as far as culture wise it goes, who it was about. Because when he kept saying divisive, I was like, I hear what he's saying, but I'm waiting for him to actually really say it, and he said it right there.
break that fucking divide so much to the point where I'm getting attacked for just giving my fucking opinion on this shit, bro. And that's what the fuck they want. When you can't even have a rational conversation about something like this, that's the whole problem, bro. That's why I'm always gonna speak up on it. You know what I'm saying? This is the fucking problem, dog. This is the fucking problem, bro. When you get that mad, you get that much in your emotions from a critique of a movie. This movie ain't got shit to do with y'all, right?
I don't think anybody in the comment section who left those comments was mad, because I know this, when I'm roasting somebody, I'm not mad. My blood pressure barely moves. You know, I'm very calm right now. I don't think I busted a sweat the entire time we've been talking about this clown.
You don't know these fucking actors. You don't know Coogler. You don't know none of these motherfuckers, bro. Especially considering how the industry is.
You don't either, but yet you sat on there and said how trash it is. And this is Ryan Coogler's film. This is his film. He wrote it. So when you say the plot is trash, you're essentially saying he's a trash storyteller. That's essentially what you're saying.
And all the bullshit going on in there. You don't know what the fuck these folks doing behind the scenes, but then to get in your feelings so much about some shit that really ain't got nothing to do with you.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, Stevie. Wait a minute now. Because you cussing a lot right now. In the last minute or so, you talk about people being in their feelings. It sounds to me like you are knee deep in your feelings right now. All this cussing right. I mean, how many times did he just cuss in like the last minute? And he sound like he's raising his voice, that eye twitching a little bit more, veins popping. It sounds to me like you having a little mini crash out right now. So it sounds to me like those comments really kind of got under your skin. And you know what they say? A hit dog will holler.
Right? It's just another person's opinion on it, dog. Like, okay, I disagree. This is why I disagree. Why we can't do that? But no, that's the whole point, is to keep certain types of black people conditioned to be this way, where they go on the offense and have this tunnel vision looking at the world a fucking certain way. But I'm the coon, you know, my politics is fucked up. I'm too conservative to appreciate the fucking movie. I mean, that's ass. That's ass.
That's the thing, though. It has nothing to do with your politics or what way you lean, because I'm sure there are people who lean whatever political way they feel about it, and they saw the movie because and saw it for what it was, and they didn't bring politics into it. But you did, because you said it in your whatever you want to call that, and you called it woke. We know what that means. We know what that's code speak for, and you said it twice.
It's all, regardless of my philosophies and my political stances on shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll rock with a fucking dope ass movie, bro. Again, Get Out, fire. And if you say it's not fire, I'm not gonna get mad at you and call you a cracker or a coon or whatever the fuck because you don't rock with it, bro. It's like, it's just terrible, bro.
And notice he keeps mentioning Get Out, like that's the thing he keeps going back to. It makes me believe maybe Get Out was the last movie he saw in theaters. I don't know, because he did say that him and his girl don't go to the movies like that. And Get Out came out in what, 2017?
It's just not a good look, dog. But that's what they want. That's what they want. That's called puppeteering. This movie is puppeteering. And it's a puppet master. They got people in the fucking mouse maze and they telling you where to go and what to do and how to think. Like you.
This movie puppeteering. What is he talking? Now he just rambling. When I first heard about this movie, when it was in pre-production, I said, "Oh, I'm all for it." You got Ryan Coogler, you got Michael B. Jordan, you got Delroy Lindo, you got Haley Steinfeld, you got Wumi Masaka, and a host of other people. And it's supposed to be dealing also with vampires, and is a period piece. Even when that was what they were just going on, because that was the way to rope you in, I was already sold. Then I saw that first teaser. I said, "Oh, this is going to be on one of my top movies of 2025. Saw the movie, and it's instantly in my top 5 movies of the year. Right now, it's sitting comfortably at number 1 as of right now. And honestly, I don't think there's another movie that's going to come out this year that's going to top that for a multitude of reasons. Not even Fantastic Four or Superman.
If you press this button, watch him act like this. You show him this, watch him act like this, dog. And that's the shit I'm against, bro. And as soon as I saw this movie, I saw what they were doing with it, bro. It's divisive as shit. And then seeing what they were doing after the fact, bro, like, all right. But I'm saying, do what you do, and you love it. Enjoy it, whatever the fuck, bro. But like, if you can't acknowledge the fact that you're getting way too emotional about a movie, right? So
see, this is what here's the thing, and I think I picked it up with what he just did right here. He did this because he thinks that he's going to get his comment section or people in the comments caught up in a gotcha moment. Like, I got you. I made this video so I could piss y'all off and expose y'all because y'all are too emotional. That's Stevie. This is not the gotcha moment you think it is. Notice how a lot of people who try to do gotcha moments for people, they don't know how to properly do it. This is an example of it right here.
To, you know, come at me or come at anybody for just having a difference in opinion, dog, bro. That's a conversation you need to have with yourself, bro. That's a fucking problem. That's a fucking problem, dog. But yeah, anyway, bro, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm all
this video could went on way longer than it needed to be, and what a picture, what an image this is right here.
I'm always with the smoke. I'm not even gonna say with the smoke, bro. I ain't with the smoke. I'm always with the smoke, bro. But I'm always down to have a conversation with anybody who's in disagreement with me about whatever, bro. That's one of the.
If that's the case, then why didn't you go live with anybody about, or anybody who liked the film versus your take? Mind you, he made these two videos 3 weeks ago, and he has not done any other commentary about this since then. Where's your live or people bringing you onto their channel to have a discussion about this movie? And you can't tell me with the platform that you have that nobody wanted to have a debate with you about that, about your take, or they didn't invite you onto their platform to have a discussion, because he know he would get debunked on every talking point.
The biggest problems with the world today, right? That we've been conditioned and brain.
Oh Lord, now he talk about he didn't like preachy stuff. Here he comes with the preachy stuff.
Brainwashed to look at the world a certain way, and if people don't agree with our perspectives and sentiments, they don't fucking enemy. Fuck them. I ain't fucking with them, right? When, you know, I'd imagine there's a lot of people in here, and I was surprised to see that amount of pushback with my audience too, bro.
You was in what? Oh, what did I tell y'all? He was not. He put that video up there expecting his audience to not clap back against him for what he said, because he knows what type of audience he has. Here's the thing, Stevie. You did a movie review starring a majority black cast that was made by a black director, a filmmaker, screenplay, all of that. One of the most anticipated movies of the year, and it got a lot of buzz around it, especially for the narrative of it. And you came out as a black man and said that about the movie and didn't think people was going to find it. Here's the thing. A lot of the people that left a comment under his video were probably people that weren't even subscribed to him. But because the video went and moved the way that it did, it got thrown into people's algorithms because people was probably looking up reviews for the movie and yours popped up. See, he thought that when he made that video that he was only talking to his white audience. No, sir. You were talking to a combination of your audience, but overall, you were talking to a black audience that probably didn't even know who you were. They probably just discovered you from that video because, again, it got caught in the algorithm because Sinners is a hot topic. It's a very hot topic right now, and still is. So the fact that you thought only your audience was going to see this and not people from the outside of your audience, which, by the way, rule of thumb, that's what you're trying to do on YouTube, is gain a new audience. But you completely listen to how backwards this is. He could have gained a whole new audience off of this review if he properly did it correctly. But all he did was shun away new potential people that could have subscribed to his channel, and people that would probably subscribe to him unsubscribed to him because of this too. I bet you there was probably a significant subscriber drop after that video, and it probably dropped again after he did this video.
Right, because I feel like I got a lot of people here share my same perspective on a lot of things, bro. It's like it'd be an echo chamber here at times.
Listen to what he just said. Listen to what he just said. Let me rewind that.
I was surprised to see that amount of pushback with my audience too, bro. Right, because I feel like I got a lot of people here share my same perspective on a lot of things, bro. It's like it'd be an echo chamber here at times.
Listen to what he just said. Listen, y'all heard that. This is what happens when you talk too much. You telling yourself. He says, in my channel, it's like an echo chamber at times. You don't say. No kidding. Thank you, Captain Obvious. So he just admitted that his channel is an echo chamber. And he thought that what he said in that video that we went over in the last hour was going to be another echo chamber. Exactly. You just exposed that you are a grifter.
So see the drastic difference from this response was eye-opening to me. So that made me feel good because I don't want to have an echo chamber. I want differing opinions, bro. But it's just so.
But you just said that that your channel is like an echo chamber, but then you say you don't want an echo chamber. But it seems to me, with the following you have, that you enjoy it because you also said that I thought people was going to agree with me. That's an echo chamber. How are you going to sit there in one breath say that I was shocked the people that didn't agree with me like that, and then my channel's like an echo chamber, but then come back and say I don't want an echo chamber. Yes, you do. That's literally what your channel is. It is an echo chamber. But when you made this review, you found out that it wasn't. The best thing he could have did after this was to make the video private, or maybe make it members only, because I highly doubt the people that was roasting him are members of his channel, let alone subscribe.
Sucks to see when you have different opinions, the people that I want to be here to engage in conversations and have these types of differences occur, I want them to stay so we can talk about the things. But when
you didn't want differences of opinion, because if you did, you would not have made this video. You would have just made the video that you did, that one video, and you would not have made a follow-up, and you would not have made this last little speech in the last 5 minutes. See, this is what I mean. What happens when you talk too much? He said too much.
You get the fuck on. That's the whole problem. That's one of the biggest problems in the world. It's always going to create that fucking divide, which comes from movies like this. But yeah, I mean.
Oh, so it's the movie's fault for why your comments are roasting you. Okay, let's just blame the movie. Okay, we're done with this. We're done. Okay, y'all, the time has come. I know y'all have been itching to want to come up and speak to this. Well, there's the link, y'all. Feel free to come right on up. I know y'all about to flood this. Y'all about to flood this queue. I already know. Again, and also shout out to the people that's in the chat right now. We got 275 people in the chat. I'm glad that you are all here. Let's see what y'all got to say about this. All right, Cosmo, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm doing good.
Oh, man. Thank you for getting me through that, because I swear, Stevie Knight, he came to my radar from doing music reviews, and it was during the Kendrick and Drake thing. And then I even had issues with some of his takes there. I was like, he don't listen to none of the words. Remember in 616 in LA when Kendrick said, I met he like jumping planets immortalized. You know what he said? Well, he want to be he talking about jumping planets because he don't want to be on Earth no more. I'm like, oh, this idiot. This idiot. He said jumping planets immortalized. Like, he don't understand no metaphors. He don't understand symbolism. He don't understand any of that stuff. That's why he missed what Sinners was all about. And now he's trying to turn it into a grift. Like, he just got 1 million subs, y'all. Put that in your brain and let that sit for a second. He got 1 million subs from grifting. So, yes, he was not expecting to get the pushback he got. And now he's trying to play victim, and we're not here for it. I don't want.
All right, Cosmo, you done? Because it sounded like you kind of faded out there. All right, I don't know what happened. I think he lost his connection, but shout out to Cosmo for coming up. Next up, we got Wallow J. What's going on?
What's going on, Torian? What's going on, everybody? And I'm glad Cosmo came up first because he does a lot of them music stuff. Because that's how I found out about him too. Because what's the guy named No Life Shack? Yeah, that's how he kind of popped up on my radar. Because it was a video he did, I think, a couple of years ago or a year ago, talking about like the black experience, the black culture, and he played a video from guess who? Myron Gaines and that Walter boy, Fresh and Fit. Yep. From a video. I think it was a video was when somebody had called into their show, and he kind of tried to I don't know, he did a horrible job trying to articulate what they were saying, but he was trying to say the black victimhood in the black community was kind of like our fault. Something to that degree. But with him doing what he did, Thomas on well with his own wife, talking about he didn't watch the movie. He watched that movie. They probably liked it. He like Cosmo said, he grifting. And to be honest, him keep calling the pretty white girl. I looked up his wife while he was talking. His wife is not, I'm letting everybody know his wife is not straight up white. Cause you can look at her black hair and tell she's mixed with something. If she is half white. Cause her dad has black slick back hair, so she's mixed with something. She ain't pure white. He probably upset he can't get a white girl, but it is what it is, man. But yeah, he didn't think that whole thing of his audience was going to turn on, because like, bro, you have 2 channels where you do your hip hop stuff and you do your political bullshit. Your hip hop crowd, which is a large black crowd, is going to follow you over there. And they probably were like, wait a minute, you talking shit about this? Like, okay, cool, bet. We don't fuck with you no more. That's what he's mad at. Now he about to start grifting real hard, just like the Cartier family. And I'll land my plane there, Torian. B1.
B1. All right, shout out to Wallow J. Next up, we got AW1. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? What's going on, Tori? How you been? How you doing after doing that video?
Man, listen, I'm gonna sleep good tonight.
Do you need me seeing some aspirin?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Listen, this is easy work for me. Like that's what I was saying when I saw the initial video.
I'm playing with you.
I already saw the like the first half of it. I didn't see the whole thing, and then the second video that we played, that was my first time seeing the entire video. But this is easy work for me.
Yeah, he made it easier too when he kept contradicting himself. It's like he was like this dude was all over the place. You gave me say he was probably acting like a dun 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 a Karen.
Mm-hmm.
He really was. It's like, bruh, that's people ain't mad at your opinion of the movie. It's just the way you're going about it. I used to be subscribed to Stevie Knight for years.
Mm-hmm.
Until he made this shift, because then he started making rounds to conservative, like that fool Tatum and Jesse Lee. I was like, oh, okay, he made the turn.
Mm-hmm.
He used to have his own mind, but now he just wants to, like you said, he's grifting it up. That's what he's doing. He exposed that at the end, and I'm so happy that you point that out. I thought my audience, they're usually with me, but now it's like, he told on himself. But I still haven't watched the movie yet myself, but I'm gonna watch it on Wednesday for sure, Tori, and I'm gonna tell you about it.
Okay. Let me know what you think about it.
Definitely, but B1 to everyone, and keep up the good work, Tori.
Appreciate it. B1. All right, shout out to AW1. Next up, outside of the gym, Jonathan, or in the gym. I don't know if he's outside or inside.
I'm here. Yeah, you
all
can
right.
see all the way behind me. So yeah, I got something to say about this. First of all, shout out to Machiavelli Mills, because that's when I saw the video of him making that dumb review of his, because I saw the movie and it was not as trash as he was trying to describe it. You know what I'm saying? This whole grifter thing is just making fools like him sound dumber and dumber and dumber. Like everything in that movie on there, I liked it. Only part I didn't like was everybody unfortunately had to die. Due to turn to a vampire and getting burned crisp. That was no one survived except for the dude playing that on Tammy. Everyone else, I just felt bad. They had to go out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this wasn't nothing woke about it. Like everything is not woke because they're telling the truth of what's going on in real life. They just had to use it as a mythology type of way, like using the racist white folks as the vampires. You know how white folks play nice in black people's face, but only to set them up, in the long run. And that was pretty much like what it's like in real life. I mean, think about it: Oscarville, Tulsa, to Wall Street. That's basically what it was kind of similar to. But only thing is there was no, oh, he did this, and everybody just took the allegation and took it out on other black people. And speaking of Oscarville, Lake Lanier, a father of five just got taken out over kayaking.
I just heard about that. I think Lisa did a video about that. I said y'all gonna learn to stay out of Lake Lanier. I'm like, y'all keep going out there thinking y'all gonna survive, but every time someone go out there, we always get a story the next day saying, oh, someone went missing, someone drowned, somebody got pulled under, and all this other this and the third.
Man, at this point, I was like, you know what? Don't teach them, don't tell them nothing. Like let them be hard headed. Let them learn the hard way. It's the only, because at the end of the day, it's helping us out, taking out the people that hate us. So yeah. But other than that, man, yeah, that movie was good. Stevie's just being an idiot and grifting for his white audience. That's all it is. And I'm gonna land my plane right here. I gotta finish the rest of my workout before I go to work.
All right, appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate it, bro. Be1.
All right, shout out to Jonathan. Next up, we got Church. What's going on?
How you doing, Torian? How's your day going?
Doing good.
Great, man. Just real quick. I'm gonna be real quick as I can, as quick as I possibly can. If this dude isn't grifting, then his comprehension skills is very low. I know. I agree with you. He's definitely grifting. But for someone who wants to give him the benefit of the doubt, I just want to say, if he isn't grifting, then his comprehension skills are incredibly low. This dude, he already told you guys what his real problem with the damn movie was. And his real problem was the fact that the pretty little white girl was the villain and not the black folk. That's the truth. And imagine going to see that with your little white woman. Of course you're not going to like it. Of course she's not going to like it. And the fact of the matter is, he basically, his whole argument was, if I have to turn my brain on and pay attention, then I don't want to really watch this. I had to let this go because if I got to break stuff down, if I really got to use my brain, well, what did you have to do in Get Out? If Get Out was your favorite movie, Get Out wasn't just out there the way that you were saying it was. You have to break down the nuances in Get Out too. From the organ harvest scene to the whole to still having the black slaves on their plantation, because technically their house was technically a plantation too. So why are you now saying, oh, I had to think too much in order for me to enjoy this film? I don't want to watch it. Then how in the world did you enjoy Get Out? I don't understand that at all. But
because he was so enamored, because notice he kept focusing on the genre, like he kept talking about like he liked horror and everything. He kept focusing on that. But I said, even with that, it was still a lot of layers there to that movie that made even the horror aspect seem even more horrifying, especially to black people.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought that I wouldn't like the movie. I told myself up and down that this was going to be a bad movie. Until I got into that dang that theater, and literally I left that mug and I was calling people like, hey, because my brother, he was the one that was like, hey, are you going to go see Sinners? I'm like, man, that movie's going to be trash, man. I'm good off of it, because I seen what Ryan Coogler did with the last Black Panther, and I didn't like that too much. So I'm like, man, I'm a good on Coogler right now. When I went in that movie and I came out, I called my brother back. I was like, hey, N-word, my N-word. I had to let him know, like, man, you were right. I was wrong. This is one of the greatest movies that has come out in the past 5 years or so. I haven't seen a movie in the past 5 years, and I'm going to be honest with you, that was this engaging, that was also a movie where I felt connected to, right? 100% connected to. I can't name another movie. I mean, as a horror movie, right? But also for him to say he's a horror fan, and one of the first things you bring up is Twilight. Twilight isn't a horror movie. Let's be clear on that. Twilight is just a movie that it's one of those movies where it's about the relationship between those two people, the girl and the vampire versus the girl and the werewolf. I don't even remember their names because I didn't really like the movie, so I've never seen it again. But it wasn't really a horror movie. There was horror elements to it. Same thing with a lot of other movies, and no one said anything about it. It's just the fact that this horror movie, the element, it is a horror movie, but the elements is elements of foundational Black Americanness, the ancestry that we've had here in this land. And that's what they really don't like. The fact that most people are liking it because it has historical ties and it's pointing the finger at the people who we've been pointing the finger at for a long time. That's what they're really hating on. But I appreciate you for having me up, family.
No problem. Thanks for coming up. Shout out to Church. Next up, we got Key Prince. What's going on?
Hey, Torian, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Listen, I don't know where you found this guy at, but yeah. I don't know how he thought it was woke and how it was divisive because the vampires were white. Um, I don't think he's a full-blooded Black American because the first Black person you hear say, "Oh, that's divisive." Usually, we hear that from people from other places that are here now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
he couldn't relate to the whole Mississippi and after the war and all of that stuff. So he
He
doesn't
did, he didn't even know where the movie took place. Like I don't know when he
exactly. He
came
had
in.
no contact, no
He said
concept.
was it Mississippi or New Orleans, whatever. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my, like you don't even know, right? He's probably crying about that other plantation that just got burned down this
Oh,
weekend.
I was just thinking about I was just thinking about that.
He probably crying. He probably blaming us for burning it down. We know the ancestors had a finger in that, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, he has no clue. I just thought, man, oh, this guy, he must be on the short bus. But when he kept calling, the mulatto or quadroon sister, pretty little white girl, and how the Black woman was an ugly Black girl, I was like, wait a minute, okay. He told on himself already. And yes, he does enjoy his echo chamber because obviously his, people that watch him are mostly Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I've never met a Black person so comfortable to just be so. I can't even. I was just thrown off. I was like, who is this dude? And yeah, he you could throw 10,000 butter biscuits at him, and he still would be out there dancing.
Yeah, like for anybody like people who don't know who he is, you can just simply just go over to his channel and you can go and look at the type of stuff that he reacts to or talks about, or just look at his most popular, most watched videos, and then you will be able to see the type of content that he makes and what audience he gears to. But that part at the end when he was mentioned in the echo chamber, I said again, this is
there it is. Yeah,
I said there it is. I said you said too much. You said too much right there when you did that.
Well, that's what you have to let fools keep talking. They tell on themselves. And just from his reaction and talk about, well, it's divisive and they want to make white people look like they the bad guys. I'm like, I got some Irish in my bloodline. I got some Indian in my bloodline. I got some Gullah Geechee in my bloodline. That's FBA. That's Black people in America. We're like tri-ethnic. You know what I mean? So for him to say that I would be racist against some of my family members or any Black person, we're not racist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's impossible to be racist. That's prejudice plus power. We ain't got the power like that. But yeah, he was just cooling too much for me. It was just too much. I had to walk away, make me a chicken cutlet, and come back. I was like, oh,
hey, at the beginning, I gave people the disclaimer. I said, put that coffee pot on. We're gonna be here
and
for
made
a while.
a snack. Yeah, I was like, oh hell no. No, I can't. It's too much. It's too much for me. But yeah, thank you. I just wanted to come and shout out to all the family in the chat. I appreciate you. And be one, brother.
Be one. Shout out to Keith Prince for coming up. Next up, we got Denzemus. What's going on?
What's good, my guy? I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, God bless you and the others in the new Black media. I can't. We need to start coming with a name with this. I'm gonna just call it that tether-ish from now on, because I don't know how y'all do it, bro. Because this shit, like, it drains my damn spirit. I don't know how you do it, dude. Like, do you like how do you not go crazy doing all these tethers and shit? I really want to know that.
Well, like I said, I've been doing this for like quite some time now, so like I'm used to doing it. And the thing is, like I tell you, if they're
this man done built up an immunity to this shit.
Exactly. I guess you can say that's one of my many superpowers. But the thing is, their talking points never change. They may alter it a little bit. Of course, the person that is coming from is different, but their talking points never change. Like I could go to a lot of these grifters channels, like pick one video that I can get a comprehension of whatever it is that they're talking about and see that they're talking about the complete opposite and debunk it. It's so easy. That's why when I decided to do this live, because initially I was going to do this live on Saturday as a midday, but I was busy, so I had to put it to today. I already knew what I was going to say going into it, but I didn't expect it to get to the point that it did, more so with that second video, because again, I hadn't seen it. So that was a very fresh take for me to really know what I was going to say. Like once I get the ball rolling, I'm on a roll until I decide to stop.
Right. And I have to give a shout out to Caucasian woman. Just bear with me for a second. Caucasian woman, y'all, I have to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have these niggas pussy whipped, because the way this man was over here talking down upon the black woman in favor of a white woman, I'm like, really, bro? Really? These people.
And that's the thing, because the white woman he kept calling a pretty white girl wasn't even technically white. That's what gets me, because I was like, nah, no, you really didn't pay attention to the movie, because they said that she had black ancestry. Like, they literally mentioned it when you first meet her. Right,
this ignorant fool. Like I'm almost to the point where I don't even think he watched the movie like that. That's what I thought from him when he said that. It's like, I'm like, are we watching the same thing? Like, what are you talking about, bro? But it's just like, it's another thing. Of course, he's a tether, because he didn't even get the nuances of certain things that were happening in the movie. Like, oh my goodness, like you know when, and this is how you know when certain people are tether, when they just say certain shit. They can't even hide it anymore, and they don't want. Another thing, I hope I'm gonna try and make it quick, because I know I'm probably on the timer, but this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I feel like a lot of people, including the suspected, the PC people, they hate this movie. Along with the tethers, they hate this movie because it just exposes all of the fuckery that they've done to us. It just exposes a lot of that, and they hate that. It irritates their demons, and this is just another movie that is just waking us up. Right. And that's pretty much it.
Appreciate you.
B1.
B1. All right, shout out to Denzima's coming up. Oh, snap, y'all. I think he might have heard me, y'all. I think Stevie Knight might have heard me, because he's actually right here in the queue right now. I can't believe it. Stevie Knight is literally in the queue right now. He got his picture up and everything. And I checked to see if it was him, and it's actually his. I think he might have heard us. I think we pulled a Sammy from Sinners. You know how they say when you play the music, it opens up the realm? I think that's what we did when he found out we was talking about him. So let me go ahead and bring him up right now. Psych. I had to preface it like that, because we was like, oh snap, let me come back in. What's going on, KG?
Why are y'all laughing at that plantation burning?
I just realized that you made that as an AI picture with the raccoon and the plantation burning in the back, and the raccoon got tears in its eyes.
You should be happy that I'm a black YouTuber with 1 million subscribers. And we should why? Bruh, better you than me.
Yeah, I knew what I was in store for when I decided I was going to go live. And the thing about it is, I initially wasn't going to go live about this, because somebody in my comment section for a video that I did, I think last week, said, Torian, can you do a bed bucking video or a live on Stevie Knight in his review of Sinners? And if I did not see that comment, I would not have done it. So shout out to whoever it was. I can't think of who it was who left that comment, because then I wouldn't have done it. But you know what? Why not? I don't care if he did make the video or the whatever 3 weeks ago. It's still fresh.
Is it fit?
But I see what you did. I see.
Stevie Pawn, you gonna learn one day, brother, and it's gonna happen this summer. You gonna learn they don't like you. You are a swole version and a straight version of Amir Odom, and you're gonna get treated as such.
I saw that commentary you did on Amir Odom. That was hilarious.
I mean, they tell on themselves all the time.
When he mentioned echo chamber at the end, I was like, I was not expecting him to actually flat outright say that.
The only echo chamber he got is between his head. I know what it is. He's trying to get off on Tuesday Night Fights. That's what it is. He's trying to get on the Greeks and Gamers.
Speaking of fights, that's one thing he needs not to be a part of anymore, at least even on a semi-professional level.
Wait till GTA 6 drops next year. Boy, the commentaries they're gonna have for this.
Oh, they've already had them. They started having them when they dropped the teaser trailer 2 years ago.
No, I'm talking about I heard a rumor they supposed to drop some gameplay footage during the finals.
Oh, during this NBA finals?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Remember that they got heat for that trailer that they just put out? Mm-hmm. They said that they mixed it with gameplay footage. Yeah, they said they might be dropping like 5 minutes of gameplay footage during the finals.
And that's the thing, like with the GTA 6, like all the first trailer that they dropped, that one got like over 100 million in like 2 days or maybe a day. This recent one got like 100 million in the same amount of time. Like this is a very heavily sought out game. So I can only imagine if it's true about the gameplay footage that they're going to show, that's going to do the same thing.
This is going to be beautiful. You don't understand. Them white folk, they don't understand what's about to happen to them. But, I know you don't want to go back down this road no more. But your boy is he had a lot to say about some subjects, but I'll tell you on the back channel because I don't want to ruin it in case you want to do a commentary. But let me go before Stevie Pawn figure out that I'm trying to be him, and then he get offended, and then he make a video about this, and then I'm gonna make a video back, and then he ain't gonna like it.
All right, appreciate you coming up.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to KG, aka Stevie Pawn, as he calls him. All right, next up we got Blue. What's going on, Blue?
What it do, cuz? What's up, man?
I'm doing good.
Man, we gotta roast this clown, man.
Listen, I can see why Dre was not able to get through it, because I had to realize that when Dre did it, he spent like 2 hours on this, and he didn't even get through the first video. I was able to get through the first video, and it took like a whole hour to do that, and then spent another hour on his response.
Yeah, nah, that was a lot, man. Just even listening to this, like, I don't even know how you could be that ignorant, especially, and he's from Atlanta, Georgia, too, which make it look bad because I'm from Georgia, and I'm like, man, you from Atlanta, Georgia, a black mecca, and you don't understand the nuances and everything that's going on in this movie? That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Regardless of whether you got a white wife or whatever, I don't see how you don't understand. They kept bringing up Get Out and saying you a vampire. What he said, he was a vampire.
You're like an enthusiast or something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, if that was the case, you understand that no vampire movie is alike. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
There's certain rules that they follow, but no 2 vampire movies are alike. You know what I'm saying? Coogler took the rules that he wanted, put it in this movie, and called it a day. You know what I'm saying? So this dude is a clown, man. The thing is, like, a couple of other people said, I used to follow Stevie. I might even still be following him. I don't know, but I know I used to follow him. And he started off having like decent commentary to where it wasn't an echo chamber. He was just wanting to have conversation. I remember he did a video where you know what I'm saying, he was having other people who disagreed with him come up and they would actually talk. But now it's like, yeah, you told on yourself, cuz talking about echo chamber. Yeah, you thought everybody was gonna agree. Why would you think people was gonna agree with you? Because I agree with what you said, Tori. Why would you think people was gonna agree with you?
That's why I said when he did this review. So the thing is, he just said when he was having an echo chamber, he basically told us what his audience mainly is when he said it just that. And when he said that he wasn't expecting that pushback, I said, what did you expect? You put out a so-called review for one of the biggest movies of the year so far. It was going to get caught up in the algorithm. So people who were looking at reviews for the movie, maybe to determine if they wanted to see the movie or not, even though it said Sinners was trash, it had the title of the movie Sinners in the title. So people probably wanted to look and see maybe for an opposing view, because maybe they saw a lot of good reviews. They was like, maybe it's not as good as people are making it. Let me see an opposing view so I can have a balance. When they clicked on that and looked at that, they probably was like, wait a minute, if this is your opposing view, then maybe you weren't paying attention. Those people who left comments under his video, a lot of them people aren't even subscribed to him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Or that's what you were saying. Like, you had the opportunity to get a fresh batch of new followers, and you killed that. You cut that off at the head by doing that. Like the video you should have came back with was, I see a lot of people that agree with me. I thought I made my point, maybe I didn't. Is there any, you know what I'm saying? Well, you should talk to your viewers and even the new viewers that you got. Talk to them and see what the deal was. You never came with a reason other than it was woke. It was woke. That's your reason for not liking it. Like I'm so
And that
tired
it
of
was
people.
and that it was divisive. He kept saying that a
Yeah,
lot.
divisive. Like what? But that's art, right? That's the thing that makes movies good. Is I look at it this way, you look at it that way. Now let's come together and have discourse about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that is exactly what art is. That's what keeps art going. You know what I mean? People look at the Mona Lisa every day and don't know whether she's smiling or not. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that divisive? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's what art is. That's what making a movie is about. It's about being divisive. But this movie to me, it wasn't divisive to the point of where it was like bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, a movie should be divisive. I everybody shouldn't go to the movies and see the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Now it
Exactly.
should be it should be maybe a common consensus on certain stuff. But every movie you go to, it shouldn't be the same. I go watch some people might go watch Top Gun and be like, nah, I don't see Maverick as the good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like they out here on some fuck shit. You know what I mean? Some people like, nah, Maverick is the good guy. That's even with the Killmonger thing with Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? Some people looked at him like, oh no, I rock with Killmonger. I'll be like, nah, Killmonger was wrong, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But that's so you can have discourse and talk about it. He don't understand the nuance of that. You know what I'm saying? He's just going in and his echo chamber it was from whoever your previous guy you brought up. He was talking about the geeks and gamers and the nerd rock. Like that's his people that he
Yes,
trying to
definitely.
get at. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's echoing because he don't have a mind of his own. And he talk about, oh, I see y'all don't have a mind of your own. No, that's the thing is you don't have a mind of your own. You got butt hurt over them comments. You know what I'm saying? If you was a real one, you would know, oh, okay, maybe I did. Let me go recheck. Let me go watch my video and see if I did something wrong. Let me go see. Or just say, you know what, y'all? I went into this movie and I was expecting one thing and it was something different and I didn't like the difference of what I expected. And that's it. Call it a
Yeah.
day. But to call it trash is, come on, man. You gotta do better than that. And not give it a reason for it to be trash other than divisive and woke. What he said, the plot was trash. That's because you didn't understand the plot. You didn't
Yeah.
understand it.
Exactly.
Just say,
Like
look, it went over my head. I didn't understand.
Exactly. Like, but he couldn't bring himself to actually do that. So he went and said that it was woke and that it was divisive. And he kept saying that because I guess in his mind, he was internally trying to make himself believe that I guess he felt if he said it enough, his audience would believe it too. But based on them comments that we looked at, they was clowning him. Like again, the comments he was reading, those were from the initial quote unquote review. But they were also cooking him under the response video too. Like they was like you're not getting it. Like we're not saying that or roasting you because you didn't like the movie because it's like it's your opinion. It's because of the quote unquote reasons you gave as to why you didn't like it. Like it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, you didn't validate. You didn't have valid reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I didn't like the movie because I tripped coming to the movie theater and I was mad. You know, like what?
Yeah. It's like he was trying to find something to be mad about, but it just didn't stick. It didn't land.
Yeah, I mean, people gonna be mad at you for that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta validate. If you gonna critique something, you got, like you said, talk about the film and the things about the film, and then you come with your okay. Now, this is my opinion. This is the reason why I'm rating it. Yada yada yada. 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, whatever. Now you can do that. Now you seem a little credible. You don't even seem like you even watched the movie. You know what I'm saying? How you not know that Mary was not just white? She was passing white. How you not know that when that was the whole thing of her being there?
He was so enamored by her aesthetic, by her beauty. Notice he kept referring to her as the pretty white girl. Like he kept saying that. And that's another thing I was talking about. He never mentioned the character's name in the movie. He just said Michael B. Jordan, and that was it. And he didn't even say his name or what names was played.
That's because how you not even know the names of Michael B. Jordan, like Smoking Stack?
He didn't know where the movie took place at. He said Mississippi. He said, wait a minute, was it New Orleans? I'm like,
I'm gonna tell you this. In all honesty, I don't think he watched the movie.
I don't either. I think he probably.
I don't think he watched the movie.
I think he might have read something somewhere where it had a plot breakdown, and that's how he interpreted it. I don't know, but
because you want, I'm gonna tell you why. Did he one time bring up The Asian woman, what was her name?
He didn't. He didn't. Good thing he did not bring up the
That was
Well,
he
he
kept
mentioned
saying that the reason why they came in there was because of the white girl. That's not the reason why they came in there.
But he did say something about like how someone had opened up the door and had invited them in, but he didn't specify that it was the Asian woman that did it because of her husband.
Yeah, but that's a big part of the movie. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like if you
he
watch
left it
that
very
movie,
vague.
yeah. Most of the critics, most of the people who talk, they bring that up every time, whether they like the movie or they dislike the movie. That's a part. You know what I'm saying? That's a piece that they break down.
And I think collectively, I think that's the part a lot of people collectively did not like. I think that's a lot of people who saw the movie said they did not like that part collectively.
Right.
From people whose review I saw, I think that was the only part people said they did not like.
Yeah. That's for real. Even though I liked it, I thought it made sense. But that is you're right though. That's a collective moment, whether you liked it or didn't like the movie, that a lot of people just didn't like. That's what I'm saying. It was a pivotal role in the movie. And he didn't bring it up. That's how I feel like excuse me. He didn't watch the movie. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't have. If that wasn't brought up, he couldn't have.
He sat there while the movie was playing, but he didn't comprehend anything that was happening. Like he said in the first video, he said he and his girl tapped out after 30 minutes. I think the movie was 2 hours and 7 minutes. Out of a 2 hour and 7 minute movie, you and your lady tapped out after 30 minutes.
Right, after 30 minutes. Which that's to me, that was a preference of, I didn't really watch that movie. Let me give it an excuse to let you know I didn't watch this movie. Oh, we tapped out after 30 minutes. Ain't no way you tapped out after 30 minutes. Because you got to think that first 45, that first act of that movie, it drew you in. I don't care what you thought you was gonna go watch. If you thought you were gonna watch a horror, a fucking thriller, an action movie, that first act of that movie drew you in. You know what I'm saying?
It drew you in. I was pulled in before they even got to the juke joint part.
So you want to be tapped out after 30 minutes? Cool. Why don't you just say, hey, I ain't watched the movie. This is what I'm hearing about this movie though. Like, be real with it. Be real with it. You didn't watch that damn movie because not only that, you didn't even bring up the part where the music changed and they did the DJ and the twerking and the different music. Like, yeah, like the scenes that people were talking about, you didn't talk about. You didn't even bring it up. But you go ahead, man. Torian, I just want to hop on here and say that, man.
No problem. Thanks for coming up.
Yep.
All right, shout out to Blue for coming up. And we have one last person that is coming to the stage to air out their grievances. But before we bring them up, I got to play the intro.
Heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred.
Hurricane Nisi, what is going on? Take us home.
Good evening, Torian. Good evening, family in the chat. I already told you I have not seen the movie. I'm waiting for the digital release.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I come up for. I truly appreciate you and all the content creators of New Black Media educating the family. I never knew who this fool was. And speaking after hearing your commentary or what I heard from that doofus, I ain't missing nothing. But I still want to be in the know, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's why I do. That's why when I do like these bed buckings and stuff like that, and people be like, Torian, who was this? Like the one that I did today on that Eli Ricks guy. People was like, who was this? And I had to explain people like, who it was, because I'm exposing y'all to who they are. So that way, if you hear about them again, you're like, oh, Torian talked about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I told people, I said, these Hall of Shame entries, it's some newcomers in here. Like, this is my first time doing one on him. The next one that I do, I think is going to be on someone I've never done before. I even just did a Karen one yesterday on someone I didn't even know. But when I heard about what they said, I said, oh, they definitely going into the Hall of Shame with that nonsense, that filth that came out of their mouth.
Well, I tell you what, that music, oh my God. The new intro music.
Oh yeah. You could think one of my subscribers for that one. I can't think of which one it was. Someone had said, Torian, you got a Triple P theme music. Why don't you have one for the Bed Buck and the Blacarian one? And I said, you know what? I thought about that, and I literally went on Epidemic Sound, which is where I get all my music from, and I just typed in like country music, no, not country music, like banjo style music, and they had a whole library of it. And I think that song that y'all heard at the beginning was the very first song on the playlist, and I downloaded it instantly. And it was a couple of them that I was going through, but that one really stuck out to me. I said, when I play this tomorrow, y'all gonna be in the chat cracking up.
My goodness. Also, I want to also commend you for doing the documentary. I was locked in.
Yeah, I can tell you I was locked in because I was looking at the comments, and I can see what I do is when I see that y'all are not typing, I said they must be locked in. Now what I'll do is I go on a Rumble, because when I go there it's muted, and I saw how many people was in there. I said they locked in. I had to just check. I had to check to make sure y'all was still there. That's why I typed in the chat, because no one had typed in like 10 minutes, and I had to make sure people were still active. And I typed in, and it was like, we're still here. We just locked in. But yeah, that was a good documentary.
Yes, it was.
But I have another. But I have another one coming next week, and that one, I think y'all gonna be locked in for that one too.
Well, listen, you've been on for over 2 hours. I know you're tired. And thank you as always. And be blessed, my baby. Good night.
Good night. Shout out to Hurricane Nisi. And I thought I was done, but this individual wants to pop up after I said that Miss Nisi was the last one, but I'll let them come on since they've been waiting. The Informant Media, what's going on?
Yo, man, I heard you call. I heard that last call, so I said, yeah, let me jump in right quick. You know, just for the bar stay open a little bit later, man. Get us a drink, man. Because we need a drink with the Steve Knight guy, man. I mean, he's ridiculous. I've never heard of him personally, but just hearing his review is obviously that he doesn't have any real critiques. He just want to be, I guess, a antagonist on behalf of his audience. And I think I mentioned this to you last time, that we have these race grifters, these black people that want to lead white people by saying I'm the black face of your cause or something like that. And they're bigger race grifters than who they usually call race grifters. You get what I'm saying? So, I think that his review was nonsense. I think that he's not trying to get any critique, and he can't give any critique because, I mean, the movie was, in my opinion, way better than I thought it was going to be. I know a lot of people actually compared it to Dusk Till Dawn, which I actually love Dusk Till Dawn, and I like this movie as well. I love both of the movies. But they were completely different on their premises and how they came about. The endings were completely different. Dusk Till Dawn, pretty much the hotel, not the hotel, the strip club was built on a pyramid. This is pretty much where demons came from, and this is completely different. Where this guy, I forgot his origin, but he's been around for a long time. However, getting back to this guy, and I want to round this up because I want to close the bar out. We're gonna see these coons come out and coon. I mean, the economy is hard. They need the money. They need to keep it going. So they're gonna continue doing what they're doing. And I'm sorry, I got a little 5-year-old in the background, so my bad on that. But these coons are gonna keep doing what they're doing. So other than that, man, keep what you're doing. Great job, Torian, man. Appreciate the work, man.
No problem. Thanks for coming up. And that is going to round out the calls and this stream. Y'all, we done made it. We've been on here for almost 2.5 hours. It has been a long time since I did a stream that was this long. But I knew going into this, we was going to be on here for at least 2 hours. But we made it, y'all. And for those of y'all who never knew who Stevie Knight was, y'all just got a very unorthodox introduction to him tonight. But we will be back on here tomorrow. I have 2 commentaries, of course, tomorrow at 10 and 6. The next live will be on Wednesday. I already kind of told y'all a little bit about it, but in case y'all didn't know, the live on Wednesday is going to be about Ryan Coogler and the major power move that he made with this movie and what that means for him in the movie industry going forward. And we're going to also go over the numbers, the box office numbers that Sinners has acquired and the records that they have been breaking, because it's like every week I'm looking up and Sinners is in the news for their box office numbers, and I'm loving it. Variety, you can eat your words for that nonsense y'all posted a few weeks ago. But anyway, y'all, we about to get up out of here. Shout out again to everybody who contributed to the super chat, DSB, fundraiser, Dana and SD Johnson. If anyone contributed to the Cash App, shout out to you. Shout out to all of the members, all the mods. everybody over on Patreon. If you didn't catch the live in real time, make sure y'all check out the replay. Definitely has some replay value there. Y'all are going, man, y'all about to be going in the comments. I already know. I'm calling it right down the middle right now. With that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Be safe, and most importantly, be one.